Leaders Radio presents
Leaders Radio.
Every week for one night only. A podcast that makes the average American man shiver at the urinal. A podcast ran by rappers. A podcast featuring talent over clout. A podcast that takes the American dream by the balls and says, fuck you. Tonight, the next few hours are unpredicted, unimaginable, and uncensored, featuring talk on various topics and interviews from the best in the game. Broadcasting from Leaders Radio Studios in Southern Illinois with your host, Skylar Pendergast.
Fresh out dimensions to tell all the peasants to bet on this Christmas being my accession. You waste every second with incomprehension. Big Jolly St. Zenith is rapping your presence. I'm fucking your world with one hell of a stroke. Ain't no joke, I can hit in about any direction.
It's time for SP's Codename Cutthroat Podcast. Now without any further ado, let's get this motherfucker started.
What's up, everybody? You guys are watching the SP's Codename Cutthroat Podcast, and this is a return episode. We haven't done an episode in a long time, and it's because I'm too busy for life these days. But this is a special episode. Jeff Howe is in the building.
Yeah, we're just sitting back here. We got the microphone set up Lemmy tribute style.
Yes.
I was wanting to be comfortable in the interview, obviously, so I'm kind of sitting back. Didn't do a lot of hard working and shit. And I'm kind of, if these guys have noticed jamming in a band with me for as long as they have, they've noticed my quirks. I'm kind of on the edge of your seat kind of guy, ready to go, ready to jam, ready to do whatever.
Yeah.
And I wanted to lay back, so if I want to get a little drink over here of my shameless plug, Monster Mean Bean coffee drink I'm allowing myself today, then I won't get hung up on the mic and it won't look like I'm a boob.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, we're just here hanging out for the return episode. I guess for all the people watching at home, I guess we'll start in a reasonable space. How does the whole musical journey for Jeff Howe begin?
Oh, wow. How much tape you got? No. Well, basically, I was just thinking about this the other day because I have the original Kiss album that was released in 73, I believe. On vinyl. It's the same one I've had since I was a kid, and it was one of those Columbia House deals where you lick the stamp and pick the records and put it on there, and you got like 12 for a penny back in the day.
Oh, no shit.
And I was licking stamps of the shit that I knew from singles from the radio, and I was enjoying music, 70s radio in the car. Something that caught my attention that Brat, grindcore band, just covered, another shameless plug, Barracuda from Heart. My mom would go and shop and I didn't want to go, and I was like, back in the 70s you didn't have a freaking iPad or iPhone to look at or any of that garbage. You had the radio. So I think children of my generation and Rick's generation, no offense to the younger ones because they just weren't around, we had the radio to keep us occupied. That was the thing. Or looking out the window. God forbid we look out at some scenery, you know.
Yeah.
I'm sounding like an old man here, but, you know, I'm just on a whole... I'm preaching. It's Sunday. Skylar got here early for me, you know, so...
Preaching.
I could go take care of some more business tonight. But, yeah, I got that Kiss album just on a lark because their gimmick, which they had a gimmick, obviously, worked. I was like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
So I stuck it on there. But then when the music actually got there, which people forget about Kiss, sure, that initial pull to get me interested in them got me, but then I heard Ace's song Cold Gin, and that's the one that stood out to me. The other ones are great too.
Hell yeah. Like
Deuce and the whole record, but Cold Gin had something to it that grabbed me. Ace's writing, basically Ace Frehley is where it started for me.
Yeah.
And I do play bass, and Gene was an influence on that, of course. But Ace, just the way he played his guitar, the way he bent notes, what he said, his solo record I was off and running after that. And then Kiss Alive too. But basically, you know, and then I started getting into like Black Sabbath and Aerosmith and Ted Nugent and AC/DC. And that was my main ones. I think I said Aerosmith. I'm burnt. But anyway, started getting all that 70s stuff coming up, wanting to learn how to play guitar. Somewhere in like 7th, 8th grade, I did a guitar class, and we learned Horse with No Name by America on acoustics a little bit, and started getting into it a little bit that way. Then I started learning from friends, And fast forward, first band over in Steelville, Illinois, when I was at the tail end of my high school years, like junior, senior year, I had a band with a neighbor dude, Ross Kuhn, who lives in Tennessee now. Nashville, actually, so another musical place.
Nashville.
We just played a bunch of covers and played my sister's 8th grade graduation and, played all the Kiss and all the classic rock type stuff, learning along, and then I got into thrash metal. That really, Metallica, everybody knows that. That was one of the big ones, but I got into all that thrash metal, the underground bands and stuff that wasn't as known as much. Everybody knows Exodus, Testament, Slayer,
The big
Megadeth,
names.
and all the big ones, but I listened to like Panic and who are some of the other Faith or Fear,
Fuck
or just some kind of underground thrash back then, or shit from across seas like Corner and Creator, and I just went all with all that metal stuff.
Creator was crazy. I remember I had a few of their tapes when I was in school as well.
Yeah.
'Cause
He remembers Creator. He's a young dude. He knows bands.
yeah, back in the 70s, I had all that shit,
Yeah. Well, then I fast forwarding up to like kind of my college years and stuff. I went to junior college. I do have a 2-year degree in administration of justice, but I never used it because, in all honesty, I was just trying to make my dad happy so I could still play music.
Right, yeah.
But I found my way into this band. I was a huge fan of them. They were called Padded Cell, and I, lo and behold, worked across the street in Sparta, Illinois from the Mad Pricer, and I worked at the Kroger grocery store there, and there was a guitarist over there. Well, I had been following a band, Padded Cell, around as a fan because they had a guy named Mark playing bass who I eventually replaced. There was no bad thing about it. I still would talk to Mark today if I'd seen him.
Yeah.
But I didn't really know him that well because he was I always just saw him at the local shows. But he was going off to college and bettering himself and stuff, so he quit the band. And Chuck came across the street and said, "Hey man, I heard you play bass. We need a bass player for Padded Cell." I'm like, "Are you kidding me? A band that plays Into the Void by Black Sabbath, one of the good deep cuts."
Yeah.
And then they turned around and played, because Mark was like me, he liked punk too. So they played Murphy's Law songs and Murphy's Law and Black Flag. My mind was, I almost forgot, I got it. We did The Rise Above, which is tattooed on my leg, that song. It was the punk rock anthem, rising above all the BS and all that type of thing. We did that. I'm like, what local band? I would say that even till today.
Yeah.
What local band plays Into the Void, followed by Cavity Creeps and Quest for Herb by Murphy's Law, and then like, go back and do some Foghat, but then do Black Flag.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's the
something like cover bands on the East Coast, like not specifically in the Midwest would, like that's something rare that you wouldn't see.
Well, we weren't trying to make money. We were trying to play shit that was kick ass and show people, hey, this shit kicks ass.
Yeah.
And Danny, he was more of a funk kind of drummer, and he was really good, but he wasn't a metal guy at all. And we brought him into that world because I was wanting to do Lost and Found by Prong.
Yeah.
And it breaks down with that double bass part in it, And Danny's like, well, I don't know if I know how to do that. So he taught himself how to do that to keep up and play that. And then South of Heaven, we played that. It gets faster. And that was a big argument between Bob and Jason about who's going to sing South of Heaven. I thought the band was going to break up about that because they both really were strong about, I want to sing the Slayer song, so it's perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, there was almost bloodshed, or something. But anyway, that band dissipated. I won't go into all that. But anyway, then I went into, me and Chuck got that dude from Carbondale, Mitch, and then the young guy that was really into Bonham, Brett. I'm almost forgetting my own drummers from Brent Hoagland, and he was really into John Paul Jones. No, that's the bass player I'm into. John Bonham. There it goes. John Bonham. Ching. I almost got buzzed. Wait a minute, I already did.
I should have hit the timer.
Oh, God.
That would have made sense.
So anyways, we went and made Cryptic Warning and did some originals. We did some originals in Padded Cell too. We always were kind of doing that. Cryptic Warning, and then Chloroform with Frankie. We were kind of almost in that between stage of hardcore and Korn.
Yeah.
Frankie would admit it, I think. Maybe. I don't know. and Coal Chamber and all that. So we kind of mixed hardcore with Coal Chamber, if that makes any sense.
Which was really hot at the time, too. That was
Right
like
at the time.
to-be sound.
Yeah,
I
we
guess.
were even looking funny, like everybody was looking funny back at that time, because I don't want to get into fashion, but it's part of shit.
Yeah.
I mean, like Exodus, they were cutting their hair and wearing silky, like, soccer shirts and shorts and shit. I'm like, huh?
Well, that's how I felt. I always wish we would bring that back, like the 80s parachute jumpsuits and shit.
Yeah,
Like,
just wear whatever you want. That's my thing.
I'd wear them and see if I could fly out of something.
But anyway, so he went through the chloroform and all that, and then after that split, I went up to Centralia over here, and Aaron was getting out of Lunatic, and they needed somebody. And I actually tried out one time first, to be honest, and didn't quite make it. I don't think they thought I was ready or something, and I don't think I thought I was ready. And then some time went by, and I did a second audition, and then got it.
Yeah.
And I was a real big fan of them. I got this weird habit of getting in bands that I'm a huge fan of first, which is super cool.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I'm in the band that I would like pay to see.
Yeah.
I know that sounds kind of funny. But I mean, I'm lucky that way too. Somebody told me that one time. We'll edit that out.
That's how I always felt about, in some sort of way, Flyte Risk, because of which we'll get to later.
Right.
But the stuff that we kind of contribute, I always tell people I'm in the band that I can picture in my head that I would want to
Right,
to
exactly.
go see.
Oh, and by the way, just another shameless plug for what I've heard and what I believe in my heart. What I'm hearing is people seeing exactly what's going on with me being in Flyte Risk. It's like where I was, you get with a chick that you think you're supposed to be with, and that's the one. Well, it's like, I don't want to get all sentimental. Hey, don't want anybody cry or anything. But I was like, all these people are coming up to me going, man, Jeff, Flyte Risk is really good, but it seems like the band you fit with or belong with or something. They see that it's me. So me, with everything we all do, create together, of course. Because I don't think there's really no leader in Flyte Risk, so to speak. Rick is kind of a good organizer, but I wouldn't really... We're all kind of creating together. Yeah. And we all contribute together with background vocals, writing, and all that. But anyway, back to the train of the story so I don't get too off track, because Jeff can get way off track. So I'm up to Lunatic. I'm out of that, and then that guy from St. Louis that was in Heavy Ground, another plug, because I love them guys too. Well, he ended up getting my spot. I messed up. I admit it. A lot of people can't do that. I won't go into details, but I messed up. I was out of the band. I'm still friends with them all. And looking back, I kind of had my head in my ass, and that happens when you're in a band sometimes.
Yeah.
But then Lunatic, and then that's when I was living up that way. Then when I was living up with the grandma, I wasn't playing for a while, and I was really weird. I was sitting in a cubicle, and I had like a cop mustache and short hair because I was working at the airport at Lambert security, and it was a weird time, and I didn't really have any friends. I was living with my grandma and working in this little cube. It was a weird time. But then when I got back around, where would I be then? I guess that's when I went to work at Intertech. I was kind of go by, memory tricks to remember. There's a lot of shit goes on in the life of music.
Yeah.
In a life. But, so I was working down there, and I found my way into, after that was, I can't forget. There's so many bands. I'm trying to keep it short, but it's not going to be. Danny Green, my hardcore band with Frankie, again, from Chloroform. And Justin, the singer that I didn't know but met. And some other guys went through the band too, different drummers and stuff. And Frankie's playing drums now. But we did a lot of cool shit. We opened up for the Misfits in the main room of Pops. And I was nervous as shit. And they all gave me shit. This is a funny little story. Because Jerry Only, the bass player that was singing for them at the time, he had like a motorhome, and he was making chicken, and it smelled great.
Yeah.
And I already had a couple beers or whatever, and everybody was taking chicken from Jerry Only, thanking him. And he came up to me and he goes, would you like some chicken? And I said, it smells really great, but no, thank you. I was the only one that turned down his chicken. So everybody was like, oh man, that's like, a terrible mistake. You turned down Jerry Only's chicken. And one guy saying, I'm going to pierce the bone and make it a necklace. And I'm just like, I'm nervous, and chicken is greasy.
Yeah,
I don't want to. I don't want that
grease.
We were hardcore, so we do the hops and everything. And I didn't want to jump and throw up all over the stage.
You got grease all on the strings.
Right. So Danny Green, and then I think after that, and there was a lot of crossovers between all these different bands, and I got 2 going at the same time. Shit, you have any idea? People would have no idea how to keep all that shit running. You know what I'm saying? It's just my love. It's my passion. So that gets me up to one of my favorite bands of all that I mentioned is Some Kind of Chaos. I made that with my buddy Clarence because I heard him singing in the basement, Fear Factory and whatnot, and Soulfly and Sepultura, and I'm like, man, have you ever sang for a band? He's like, no, I never even consider it, man. You know, with a deep voice. And you hear that kind of voice. It's like when I got the phone call from Mitch. He was answering the ad from the Carbondale thing, the Cryptic Warning singer. He's like, hello, this is Mitch. I was wanting to audition as your singer, and I'm like, oh, wow, that's kind of commanding, like a phone voice.
Yeah.
You almost get an idea of a guy. I'm like, if you know Clarence, he's tall, but like lurch and, and got the low voice. It's like you just know he's got to be a metal singer or is going to be.
Yeah, Clarence, if you're watching now, shout out, man. You're fucking awesome. He's one of the most badass frontmen I know in the area.
And what also you'd probably concur, let me throw a big word in there.
Concur.
That he's also one of the most advocates or supporters of any musician anywhere or the scene or whatever you want to call it, supporters of everything.
For sure.
We're wearing every different shirt and just all that. But anyway, so we did that, and then we opened up for like Crowbar and Prong and some of my favorite bands of all time. Never thought I'd ever do that. Oh, and back to Danny Green, can't forget the Cro-Mags. It was John Joseph's version with Mackie on drums. I can't forget that one. And there's a lot of good shows there too. But okay, so I'm up to Some Kind of Chaos, and then of course Abaddon with Clarence. We're the down tune, newer school metal, which I got a hang of after a bit.
I always called it more sludgier type metal.
Yeah. And that was cool. And I, like I said, with that we just kind of separated company. I was working then with Flyte Risk too, but through different singers, and we're kind of almost a cover band, getting to know each other, and we're trying to get originals going. And then we finally found Joey, our singer. Yeah. And he's a good writer, and he got a lot of good concepts. And
I like to say that's when the plane took off.
Like that's the plane that's always on the thing he puts on there. Yeah. Exactly. And once we got him, he was our singer. We went, and again, not to go in a bunch of tirade about that, but there's different things going on, and people got to take care of stuff, and he bowed out. Whatever you want to say happened. But we're back reunited with him, and we're working with him again, and made the second record. Because we were kind of going a different direction with someone else, and then it was kind of, I enjoyed having Brian. Yeah. But it was just like, I don't know if it was meshing together. It was nobody's fault. It just, things are supposed to be, things aren't not.
Well, that reminds me, we did the first record, the self-titled one, which a lot of people like to call the Four Skulls record. Right. I find that funny. I love that. But I remember the recording sessions. We were going to make the first movie type thing we were going to do. I think that was right after we said, fuck all the vlogs. Yeah. Let's just put out a movie. Right. I had all that footage and lost it. Oh, because this Mac is out of date, as people can see. Uh-huh. I edit the whole thing, not being able to save it. Oh, damn.
I didn't even know that happened. I'm in the band. He's got so much going on. This guy back here is a one-man producing machine.
I remember it being
I don't
hot
have that kind of time.
Fucking here. It was dead of summer. I don't know. The recording of the first record was fun, but brutal, too. It was just dead heat. We were doing a lot of bullshit shows at the time. Yeah. But the second one felt good because we kind of had a story to work with. Yeah. And with the concept that you came up with.
Well, yeah, I kind of came up with that concept. I was kind of planning on talking about it. You segued me right to what I was kind of planning on talking about here, somewhat. Yeah. Is, I've always liked concept albums. I'm a King Diamond fan. Right. And I just went and saw him recently. Oh, my God, that was amazing. And Night Demon, a new band I'm really into that's kind of power metal-y. They opened it up. And Overkill, who I've gone down the rabbit hole. I was listening to him on the way in.
Hell yeah.
Andy got me taking over the second record, and some of them songs like, which one is this now? And about 3 seconds in, I'm like, oh yeah, this one.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to watch that the song Electro Violence, Andy, if you're watching. Look up that Electro Violence. It's their pit song. Like
Nice.
Testament had Into the Pit, they had Electro Violence. I'm like, oh yeah, that one's a classic. But anyway, back to the concept. I'm really going off. I can do that. The concept of the album, I came up with the title, the self-titled. First one's The Skull, referred to as but officially it's self-titled.
I always viewed it as us breaking out. Like, here's our sound, here's us.
Right.
Here's a record, more or less.
Right.
Because everyone stresses at what the first album's going to be.
Right.
And we had all this time to make
like
it.
Joey kind of says, and he would probably back me up here, the first one was a little almost darker and heavier.
Yeah.
But I kind of believe that since we're the kind of band that one song to the next, and correct me if I'm wrong, are always its own thing. Like, they sound different. And so we didn't want to recreate side 3 and 4 of the self-titled album, I don't think, collectively. So we wanted to go kind of maybe a little different, and Skylar kind of went a little bit with some different sample type stuff, just some experimental things that to put in with the heavy. It's not like we were not heavy now. It's just a different kind of heavy, and then that one just sparked off of Joey's lyrics in there, the Freak song, because I guess kind of funky little, groovy little bass thing that I was doing in it, because it was a fun, he's got that little jumping thing at the beginning, and it just kind of happened organically, and so did Limbo, I think it was.
Yeah.
He freestyled something in there, and that was like the take. You know how a lot of these artists and stuff, they have all the money to do it too, or time. But they do 9,000 takes to get one little line right, or they use auto-tune and fake it, as I say.
Yeah.
Joey just went in there, unhinged, and laid down a track with a piece of music he hadn't heard much, just a little.
Yeah.
And just laid down 2 of our tracks, one of which is the second video we released on New Year's Eve, and just nailed it first. Like that's when you know if you do it kind of natural like that, and not worry about having everything exactly perfect, but yet the feel is there.
Yeah, then you got something. That's when you know.
So just
you got
keep
something.
it, because a lot of times, if you keep the other track, you can always use it. But even wasting the time to try to do it so much better, quote unquote, but it's not necessarily better. It's just he had it, boom.
Yeah.
And some stuff you got to work at. We worked at the self-titled thing, but back to that again, I still am not back to my original point that he asked me. The question is, I came up with the title of the record there, The End of Modern Enslavement. And what I meant by that was seeing kind of my stepson, kind of like looking at all that video games and YouTube stuff, and anybody's kids, not singling him out or saying he is bad either. It's not bad. It's just I feel sorry for him because I was a kid of the 70s of the creek.
Yeah.
And, getting my hands in shit. That's why I can do the job I'm doing right now for money.
Yeah, it was more outside based.
Well, yeah. Everything was outside, and, you can't hardly let a kid outside because it's so dangerous now.
Right, yeah.
But I just feel sorry for him because I wish for him different, because the screen, that's what the lyrics, kind of came, because I was wanting that concept. That's why I said I like King Diamond and Queensryche, like Operation Mindcrime. If you kind of follow a theme or a story, so at least that song is, and somewhat the other songs are kind of leaning that way.
Yeah.
Like have a slant towards some kind of enslavement. The Limbo thing, that's part of that whole. It all kind of gelled. I don't think we necessarily even meant for it to.
Yeah,
necessarily, but
it was a natural
happened.
progression. Yeah, I think so. And people say that all the time when they get.
I don't want to be all cliche or whatever.
Like, it
but
just
I'm actually
happened that way.
I'm thinking about it as I'm thinking about how the album came about, and that's what I'm thinking. It's just certain things just click together, and then you look back at it, and you're, when you could always be objective too and say, but it basically has some sort of a enslavement theme underlying it. Like it all goes together. And as Joey said, I don't even know if the actual other 2 in the band heard him. You have a lot of crosstalk. I get in trouble all the time from Rick for cutting him off. But he's not here right now, so.
The floor is mine.
But Joey mentioned something which is true that we didn't necessarily plan either, honestly. But like, what was the first one? The first one's the lead song off the first self-titled record. Lycan, which there's a couple. If you got that shirt, there's only so many of those. I can call that limited edition shirt.
I wasn't aware of that shirt today, and my daughter got
the new
snot
one on today. She had no shameless plug. The new skull for the new era skull one that Skylar came up with. We just got those in the mail. Checking it out there, zooming in.
Or I can just, we got technology. I'll throw it right here.
So we did the Lycan on the first record, and then this last record, one of the last songs we put together, and one of my favorites, is the J&H, which stands for Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah.
And his dad put that together with the, and I'll give Rick some props here, I guess, because I was thinking about, I'm reluctantly bass player giving a guitar player a compliment.
Yeah.
What's that? No, no, but seriously, it's like some people want to impress you with how many notes they can play fastly and backwards and forwards and upside down and doing somersaults and flips.
Yeah.
But I was been of the mind of the Ace Frehley and the Angus Young and the simple but effective but kick-ass, you know.
Right.
And the way he does that rhythm thing, it's kind of tricky, but it's like I'm getting like when you're with a guitar player for so long, or another musician, drummer even, you get in tune with him, and I'm starting to get in tune with what Rick kind of does, and he's coming from guys I like. So he's Ace Frehley, and Randy Rhoads is his big one, I think, even the most for him, and so I like those guys too. But like the way he picks the rhythm and the way he stutters the rhythm for J&H makes the whole mood of the song. Yeah. Just the picking hand like thing.
I think that's a riff he had for a long time.
Yeah. But it was one of those paranoid moments.
Yeah.
Another cliche where we needed a song for the record to finish it, and Rick came up with that, and I'm like, okay, there we go. And I'm doing a little bass playing on that one too. I'm getting that all figured out. Some patterns and stuff that I came up with, and Rick kind of helped me out and with basic ideas where to go. And now we got a cool little it's a guitar solo, bass solo, guitar solo in there.
Yeah.
So that's kind of neat.
And I think drum wise, I tried to do something like early Metallica, late Slayer type stuff on it.
Right.
But yeah, it all came together, and there was talk of maybe filming that song as a music video.
Cool.
Which could be pretty nice. And the latest one that we just put out, Limbo.
Yeah.
I guess we can go into this a little bit before we take a break. We went and conquered New York City.
Oh yeah, we did do that. I still have. I'm saying something about my new job. I'm really conquering a lot of things there. But even in the band, it's like the way we just kind of pulled off, just blast, as my dad used to say. Give Gary a little credit there.
Yeah.
We just blasted up to New York pretty much in the car because we checked flight prices late. And they were terrible, and we spent a little gas, but hey, we got up there. It was cool. I've always wanted to go there on tour with Danny Green on that coast. I saw it in the distance. You could see it from the van, but we had to keep moving because we had another show we had to get to, and we didn't have time to stop, which I get. But I was like, it's right there. Like I was almost there.
Yeah.
And then, so I'd never been until the band went together, and that's like a little mini documentary you can look up on YouTube and stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
That Skylar put together. I saw him doing. I got even some pictures of him probably filming stuff that's in the movie. I got some pretty cool pictures there. Yeah, edit that in. I'm not even drinking. Well, I'm drinking, but I'm not drinking booze. Only because Benton hadn't started selling it yet. Cast.
Yeah.
No, but I wasn't going to get all hammered or something. I was going to have maybe one. But it wasn't that important. I got a monster.
That used to be the old podcast we did. We just get shit-faced. And
So anyways, we went up to New York, and we stayed with Rick's sister, and that was cool of her because that saved some expenses. And then his old guitar player, Adam, from Inner Sanctum.
Yeah.
With that one guy. Is that out yet? No. Mike Portnoy, before Dream Theater, up in New York. So I'm playing with a guy from New York and his kid, and it's like, well, no wonder I like the sound, because he's from where everybody I listen to is from up, and that's just my thing. Like New York music, from the hardcore to the death metal.
Yeah,
I'm into a
there.
death metal band that's been around forever, but honestly, I can't be. I'm not lying about that. I haven't been a fan of until recently, because I bought the later, not the exact latest one, but one of the latest Internal Bleeding records.
Yeah. And
they got such a groove. I saw them at FTA and got into them, and I'm going to research their back catalog. They're from New York, Cro-Mags, Kiss, everybody I listen to, all my favorite bands are from New York. So anyway, we went up there with Adam, and he did a lot of the filming. If you don't see a lot of the bass players, Skylar wasn't being mean. He didn't have a lot to work with because one whole take, you know me, if you've ever seen me play, I'm all over the stage like I'm playing. Even though we were, you
should have marked an X somewhere on this.
And Adam's like, hey, you got out of the shot, so we don't have a lot of stuff for Skylar to work with on the bass because you're moving around. But he got me doing. I couldn't do a New York video and not do one of those hardcore jumps where you hop up and tuck your feet up.
Yeah.
The old man version of that, let's just say. I'm not getting up as high as Eddie Van Halen did back in the 70s or anything, but, I had to do a little tribute there. But we went up there, and one of my things, and Rick, I think, as much as a Kiss fan, Rick is as well. I think he had ultimately wanted to go there too, but it was just one of those little band razzings that you do to each other. I guess I was busting his balls about getting to the corner up in New York,
the corner
where Kiss did the Dress to Kill album cover. We just took a picture at the corner of West 23rd and 8th Street here in New York. Historically, Kiss was here yesterday in 1974 doing the Dress to Kill album cover. Bucket list check mark for Flyte Risk. But anyway, I wanted to go to that location. We were that close. I didn't want to be that close to that location and not stop. And it happened to be the 50th anniversary of that album cover being taken there.
Yeah.
And then we were actually making the videos on the 50th anniversary day. So when we went to New York the next day, I think on a Sunday.
I think so, yeah.
When we went to, took the subway, that was an experience in itself. This burnout on the subway, you got to move quick. Me and Joey are like, duh, we're like country bumpkins. How do you do this? And they were already past the turnstile thing, and I'm thinking, they're probably thinking, if they don't get up here and get in this train, we're going to get separated.
Yeah.
Pretty much is how that goes.
People getting stuck in the twisty, the turnstile, yeah.
But we made it to that location, and kind of, I'm directing that because I'm such a Kiss head. I'm like, put your foot up on the pole, Rick, and Joey, you do what Paul did, and everybody kind of do what each member did, so we could kind of recreate.
I remember being stuck because I can't really remember what.
I think Peter put his hands in his pocket.
Yeah, I think I had mine. We took a few photos.
Well, yeah, Skylar had his hand over his heart, which to me symbolized the love of that. Yeah, what we were doing. So that works to me. That works. So don't feel like, oh man. Yeah. It works.
I pledge allegiance to NYC.
Yeah.
On the Flyte Risk Academy.
You didn't put your butt cheeks in the camera like I did. You edited that in. So, I don't know. I had a little David Lee Roth moment there. I was Rothing it out there.
Yeah, that was all fun. Like being at the A room. Just seeing that new experience. Of course, working with Adam.
Yeah. And I guess we can let it out. I'm sure they could almost probably figure it out, but that scene that I was helping with the laptop holding for the audio or something, and the scene in Through the Lines, the first video we released, where Joey's walking down the hall and beating on the walls and whatnot, he really did that. That wasn't a mock thing. I'm sure Adam heard, like, is there a train coming through here? Because he was really pounding on the walls for effect.
Yeah.
But that was the hallway leading to the A-room studio where we shot the video there.
Because I had the idea of, because there'd be too much performance scene, and I know it'd be probably hard to get scenes in the city because we were just looking to check out the city. We weren't really looking to work or anything.
Right. It was like a mini vacation / video thing. We got to eat some of the food and do all the stuff that I wanted to do when we got up there. We didn't get to a couple places, but we didn't have that much time. We all had to work and stuff.
Yeah.
So we had to kind of get back, and so we just I was kind of happy with when Rick said, hey, we're going to go, because I didn't want to have to come straight off of New York and go to work pretty much, because that would have sucked.
Yeah.
But we figured it all out for everybody's benefit. And like I said, I can't believe that we lived through that.
I know, I was just about to say.
There's some stories for a podcast.
I was a little upset that I left out some of, I wasn't recording as much as the travel,
Lord.
But how fucked up the drive out there actually was.
well, let me tell you something about I plugged myself a little bit in the other one and busted some balls, because I've learned something with Rick. You got to bust him back if you're like a buddy. That's just part of it. But I was busting little balls because I was like any trip, right? And then we're going to the Kiss site. We're making music videos, and so I was all jacked up. I couldn't sleep the night before. I don't think I slept but a couple of hours, and then I took first shift, so to speak, because supposedly I didn't want to drive in the city, which I ended up doing anyway. But anyway, so with little sleep, I took a straight 9-hour drive from my driveway up towards New York, 9 hours straight after a couple hours of sleep. And then I was done.
Yeah.
And I think then Joey took over, right?
Yeah, he took over.
Yeah.
Okay, what the fuck?
Joey took over somewhere in the many curves of Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
So it still says 70. I-70. Okay.
I would have drove. My stupid ass don't have a license.
Well, yeah, so that would have been illegal. We didn't want to try to do too much illegal stuff on the trip.
Not too much.
But he was terribly, terribly sick, by the way.
Yeah, I think I had bronchitis or something.
Yeah, and we were all pinned up in the car together. That was an experience.
And then I think losing my mic again.
Uh-oh.
And I think I heard I got most of everybody sick around the time they got home.
I was deathly ill after that, but it was worth it. It was fun. I act like I enjoyed being but I mean it is what it is. You know, he was sick at that time, couldn't get in. I know how it is. You can't get in to see nobody no more. Yeah. Nobody wants to work, not even doctors. But so what were we talking about? Let's get back to the train.
What was
something about
we didn't have the experience of seeing a crazy person on the train. I was a little upset about that.
Yeah, right.
Seeing the crazy people screaming and shit.
Right.
We did get caught up in a Trump rally.
Yeah, we did. There was some merch and stuff.
Or not even a rally. He was at Madison Square Garden.
Right.
And we didn't even know it until like minutes before we got on the train to get into the city. And then we were like, oh shit, we're going to be
I have to mention, I don't want to make this political. That'd be wrong of me. But there was a few individuals holding signs up. All I was trying to do is of course I did get a Trump picture, like from the sign, but I was really trying to get where it said Madison Square Garden, because everybody knows if you're a Kiss fan, that's the big deal for where you play in New York when they were the biggest band in the world. Yeah. And it's like, stop making this political. This is literally about Kiss. Yeah. For me. Stop ruining my moment with your protest sign. Oh, that's a Trump guy. He looks like Ted Nugent.
I thought I literally seen people hold signs in front of your phone as you were trying to snap.
Oh, I went up to Chicago to see one of my favorite bands too, Kitty, on their tour, because they're doing the limited thing. They kind of were off for a while. Now they're doing the limited, smart business women, doing just a few shows. I go, well, I guess I'm going to have to go to Chicago now. Yeah, so I did. But there was the Democratic National Convention and when that was going on, and it's like, who's this Ted Nugent guy looking like he's checking in? And it's like, no, the band that I follow is in town. Yeah. And then the girl that was serving me my beer on the river is like, oh, there's still a band? Yeah, there's still a viable band. I just keep track of shit, Yeah. But anyway, wherever you go, you get that, Right. What are you going to do?
Definitely. Shit, let's take a break.
Let's do that.
We'll take a quick commercial break and then we'll come back. We got some a really cool announcement too that I was saving for this podcast.
Yeah. We have it not announced.
We're whipping out the camera again to give a hint.
We'll be back. And to quote Tesla, coming at you live.
This is SP's Codename Cutthroat Podcast. We'll be back after this.
Yeah.
You're tuned into the Codename Cutthroat Podcast. The crew is left to urinate and mop up all the blood in the studio. We'll be back right after this.
Leaders Radio.
Hey, don't forget to check out our Leaders Radio YouTube channel. We'll be posting brand new music and videos there. If you don't, you'll miss out. And if you miss out, you just suck then, don't you? Leaders Radio. We play the music, not the bullshit.
Subscribe to Leaders Radio today. Out now from Leaders Entertainment District. Skylar Pendergast, location Crossroads.
Sick of the compromising, no more apologizing. I'm still up appropriately, a problem rising.
The sophomore studio album loaded with special guest features from many monsters. Zeus Rebel Waters. Squalid 2 times. Taste so sick.
About to make the world sick. Why when I'm feeling it, I'm probably the illest
to spit it because I'm killing it. But the world we live in is wicked, they won't remember it. Hoping that my time keeps ticking, nobody's
Zach Mode.
What do I say now? I don't know, I just made it as a playground like I do with these females that just play around. So I'm pro.
And a special bonus track featuring Jamie Coe.
100 bands, we drown in the house. But we still trap out that bitch like a band. No pops, you say get your feet off the couch. That's something else that my niggas gon' stand on.
Skylar Pendergast, Location Crossroads, out now on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, Amazon Music, YouTube and all other streaming services. Deluxe edition out now on SoundCloud.
I can't help but feeling lost.
Skylar Pendergast, Location Crossroads, out now.
Have you been injured in a slip and fall accident? That's hilarious. No really though, I'm with the law offices of Sheba Insurance. We'll sue the fuck out of anybody. We ain't scared. We've helped thousands of people and can help you too. We don't care. We clean house. Give us a call at 1-800-SUE-7. That's 1-800-SUE-7. Let's kill these motherfuckers. I had it rough growing up and it's now their fault. Eat my balls.
Out now from Leaders Entertainment District, the second album from the band Flyte Risk. The End of Modern Enslavement, 8 brand new songs including Through the Lines.
Your heart's in the center of my hands, both knees against the floor. Still can't recognize your soul.
And Limbo.
You love me.
Flyte Risk, The End of Modern Enslavement, out now on CD and all online stores and streaming platforms.
It's the scent of love. It's the scent of life. New from Avenue 13 Fragrance. It's spit. Spit. One squirt of this shit and you'll be hooked. Cover up that modern scent with spit. Spit. Scents of roses, lavender, marijuana, baby powder, and Newports. One spray to the color and guaranteed you'll have all the girls in the city lined up at your door waiting to fuck you. It works. Believe me. My clinic can't get enough of me.
Come on now, bitch, you're sick as fuck.
Try our new cologne Spit. Available at every carnival kiosk. Spit. The smell of freedom. And assault.
Time they gon' drop dead. Bro got a Glocky, a hot head. Cup full of dope, I'm a walk head. And a post off a path and a pop in. Hey, you meant to.
Make sure you follow Jamie Coe on SoundCloud.
Hey, you try to tell me you dead with me. See like you trying to get rid of me. I put a lock in that back door. Hey, I finna save it when twin with me. Hey, she give me tie pass out. And I'm off a Zen, I might black out. My auntie keep telling me to sit down. If I'm nervous, I'm pulling that blick out.
Jamie Coe, new music available on SoundCloud and Leaders Radio.
I got a feeling to tell song. Said these nigga pussy, I smell.
What the fuck? Another stupid advertisement.
Try our brand new lotion. Its unbeatable compound mixture refreshes and replenishes skin.
Fuck your stupid lotion. I don't
hey,
care.
Listen, punk ass. I'm just trying to promote my company.
And I'm just trying to listen to my song without hearing about your stupid fucking lotion.
I don't give a fuck about your song, you little twat. I'll send this lotion right to your front door.
Listen, you computerized bitch. I'm trying to listen to my song. I have a long drive and don't want to be bothered by your bullshit attempt to grab sales. I'm not fucking interested.
Fuck you, fuck your drive, and fuck your little stupid ass song.
No, fuck you,
You're
you
a little
stupid bitch ass commercial. I'll make a fucking call about your ass, you lame excuse for advertisements. We hate them, but we need them. So let's not yell at them in our cars. They have feelings too. Paid for by the Advertisement Bureau of Planet Z.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to SP's Codename Cutthroat Podcast, the only podcast that's done in Benton. Actually, no, I can't say that no more because our friend Kat over here at Kit Kats has a podcast.
Oh, yeah?
The Joda and Kat.
Okay.
Results May Vary, I think is the name of it, if you guys want to go subscribe. And if my YouTube would stop playing stuff in the background, that'd be very fucking nice.
Check out their bar. They got food, I think. Right?
Yeah, I was going to propose to see if I can get Kat and JD in here to do an episode and to share more a little bit about the bar.
Be great.
I want to film a commercial for them, too. That'd be really cool. Just to get some plugs out of the way. To promote the show or have anything like advertised or like the commercial break said, email leadersradio618 to promote on this podcast, or we can just give you a clever shout out, or if you want to be a guest on this podcast via interview or just come on and shoot the shit with me. Always be sure to follow SP Online. That's ONLIINE, because people get that mixed up. There's 2 I's in it, because that's how we used to spell things. Follow Flyte Risk online with 1 I on all social media. We lost our Instagram, which sucked.
There's where you put the wah wah.
I know, yeah. What do I got here? We lost our Instagram, but hopefully we can get something back. I was hesitant on building a new one because our Facebook does pretty good.
I'm hesitant about Instagram, period.
The whole thing with the social media shit is like the thing that's happening now is TikTok has been banned in the country and whatnot. Everyone's making a big rave and stink about that.
It doesn't even affect somebody like me because I'm old and I didn't even use it, so you can't miss what you didn't even mess with.
I think there's way too many social media apps. It's almost draining as a...
Well, it's the end of modern enslavement. Does this surprise you that the guy that came up with this title for our record would be the old grumpy guy, the old grumpy metal guy? Right, it could be like a reality show. It's like, where you just go around and bitch about the world. I would be great at that.
Fuck all them stupid apps. Fuck TikTok.
I finally understand the grumpy old man. Like, back in my day, we didn't have auto-tune. We sang with our real voices, and we liked it.
I'm waiting to be that bitter old guy, because I know it'll come in my age if I'm bitter now.
Yeah.
We had the baby. We had SoundCloud.
Fucking things suck. Fucking things suck.
Also, follow the Codename Cutthroat podcast on X. Speaking of bullshit, social media platforms.
There you go.
We just opened a new page because I wanted to make a new page for the SP stuff. To kind of start fresh. And no one is really engaging on anything. X is kind of a dying platform unless you're a politician or an OnlyFans chick.
Yeah. There's somebody pushing something there. I don't know.
That seems to be the fucking big rave about it. And interview dates are open, like I said earlier. So email leadersradio618, what you see down below, and we'll get you on the show. And like I said before, this is a special episode because we're here with Jeff Howe of the band Flyte Risk. A little before the break, we were talking about, because, we were just listening to the song Jekyll and Hyde a minute ago. And we were talking about, we dived into it a little bit, but we never really went into the whole birth of this whole thing.
Oh, yes, right. I think I touched on it, but I don't think I really finished the thought, I guess you could say. But while I was in Abaddon, and it was nothing against Abaddon at the time at all, I just keep myself busy musically and stuff. And there was somebody knew somebody, that kind of stuff. That doesn't matter who, really. But somebody knew that I was kind of in a state of maybe change or something. And I was saying, that I like classic rock and stuff too. And I guess you guys were looking for a bass player at the time. And I guess the first singer was Ron.
Yeah, and, we had the thing that was happening at the time was the old band Forum J, which was pretty big around here.
Right.
I stepped in a little in my late teenage years to just do some shows and fuck around and have fun. And then, of course, me and my dad keep playing together and then we start thinking about making something else. And we didn't even have that. I think who came up with the name Flyte Risk?
I think your dad did.
Yeah,
because it was originally, if you remember right, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it Bucket of Hate?
Yeah, there was a few contenders. I think Satan's Penis was another contender.
Didn't Ron come up with Bucket of Hate?
I think so. Yeah.
And
I don't know what that
was
a play
I don't know
off
about
of.
that name, and he was leaning towards Flyte Risk, and then we all agreed, I guess, that's what we like too. So
yeah, so then we got you, and then we came together, and then at one point I forgot the person's name. I won't say it on here, but we had singer. We were doing Maroon 5 covers at some point.
Oh, I don't think I was around for that, was it?
That was a miserable chapter.
That wasn't me, was it?
I don't.
No.
That was probably late.
I would remember if somebody made me play Maroon 5 and nobody has, so no.
It was, what's that fucking song? I'd look it up here if we weren't on YouTube, but...
No, I would remember that bad memory.
But then, we got you, and then...
Yeah. I was still playing at Abaddon at the time, doing gigs with both. Well, mostly Abaddon, but we had our first gig with Ron over there in town, in Benton here. I can't remember the name of that place.
City Limits?
City Limits,
yeah.
That's it. Yeah, that's where we played first, and then we just kind of parted ways with him, and Joey was out back having a cigarette, let's say.
Yeah.
And, as musicians do, we were talking to him. Rick knew him from before his old acoustic-y type band.
Yeah.
And knew that he was a good singer and stuff. And Rick's like, hey, I need to get your number. I might need that coming up because you feel a change coming. Something's got to give, whatever. Because we were doing mainly a cover band thing.
Yeah.
And playing around over in Sparta and stuff. And where I used to stomp around with Padded Cell and little, and then around here a little.
Which was fun. What was that one bar that threatened to pull us off stage if we didn't play any cover songs? Oh. Do you remember that happening? That was...
I don't know if that was we played over in Coderville. I know.
That place was horrible to us.
We got shut down by the cops in
what was the name of that place?
Sandoval.
Wasn't that the Stubborn Mule?
No, that's Steelville.
Oh.
That was my birthday. But the one over there that we're talking about is where the video. I don't know if it's up or you're going to make it available, but way back when we played in that garage-looking place, it was well lit.
Oh yeah, what was the name of that place?
It was a place in Sandoval. I can't really remember the name of the bar right now.
Yeah, whatever place you are, go fuck yourself.
I don't know if it was so much the place, it was the cops and the neighbors were complaining.
The whole town.
Well, yeah.
I've seen posts about these small towns that bitch about bands that play in bars. They're making legal noise ordinances.
Yeah, we're not the
like
type
10
of band,
o'clock.
too. Like, if they heard, like, some Conway Twitty coming through the walls, they'd probably live with it. But it's if a hard rock band's playing that volume and playing Deep Purple, then they tend to get mad.
I always have a huge problem with venues that book people and don't do any research of who they're booking.
And I was trying to be, polite and everything. But when I was putting my bass in its case, I was kind of under my breath saying, I can't believe we're getting shut down for playing music in a bar.
Yeah.
That's like the most bizarre thing, other than being in Sparta that time. And them basically coming up to us because I think some young girls text the bartender, well, this isn't our kind of thing. It's not auto-tune and new and soft volume. These guys are like scaring me with their heaviness. And basically we got shut down mid-gig. I was like kind of like, I don't want to sound like a wuss or something, but I think I was kind of like hurt.
Yeah.
I never had that. I was like, do we suck?
Well, it is. It's insulting.
Well, I never had that happen. Yeah. In all these years of playing music, I was like, what is that about?
That's like what happened to our friends in Everfell, where they shut their show down.
We had said that through our singer that we were going to continue our set and get paid what we agreed, and then we'd get out of there and never play there again. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad because it was kind of one of my old stomping grounds and stuff. But hey, times change.
What was the shittiest gig? Like the White Rabbit video was bad.
I was gonna say
PK's was bad.
Yeah,
I was sloshed.
I was gonna say something about you said just worst gig ever. And just this one gig flew.
Well, it doesn't have to be in Flyte Risk. Just like
the one for me,
world.
And the guy was being nice because musicians try to help each other, maybe lie to each other a little bit.
Yeah.
If you're having a hard night, and say, well, it really wasn't that bad, and maybe it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. But to me, I was like, oh my God. I actually pulled the rookie mistake for one. But it was a confusing thing. Maybe I'll get off the hook with some musicians if they understand exactly what happened.
Right.
So I go to this show, a major show in St. Louis. We're opening up for a band that I still think rules called Mothership.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think they're from Texas or something or somewhere. Mm-hmm. I always try to remember weird little facts. Rick knows I'm like that. But they're kind of like a stoner, rock and roll, heavy, three-piece. And but when I opened up for them, I had this bass that I brought. Usually I would have backup strings because in a stress situation like that, you can get a string on and tuned up pretty quick that you didn't think you could because you're in the middle of a gig and you want to get back up there, plug in, get tuned up, and go.
Get right to it.
And I went out to my case, but I had changed cases. and forgot that I changed cases and didn't have strings as a backup in this case I brought that night. And as soon as I opened that case, because Clarence was right there on it, opening it up, and he goes, "Bass, there ain't no strings in here, man." I had to do the impersonation out of love. And I was like, "Ah, shit." And it was just like this, looking into this light over here, like a deer in the headlights, like, I'm doomed.
Oh, no.
Because what do you do? Now I don't have a string at all, and now I got a 3-string bass. I think I broke the E string, because you always do, grinding on the E string. So the guy from Broke Neck, the band we like to play with, the Some Kind of Chaos too and everything, comes up. I think it was when I was in Some Kind of Chaos. You can play my bass. So now it's a weird bass I'm not used to. Not saying it was thankful that he let me use it, but it's like riding somebody else's motorcycle or whatever.
Yeah.
I won't get too bad. But and then so I got to get it tuned up right and everything. And then in another rookie mistake, once it starts kind of going bad, you know what I mean? So usually we all know, I tried to explain this to a new player that was having his first time standing up, because he was always sitting in the computer chair playing and learning stuff.
Yeah.
I go, "Man, you got to wrap your cord." Everybody knows you got to wrap your cord around the strap and plug it in, so if you step on it, it stays in.
Yeah.
And you almost fall down, but you're like, okay. But I didn't, after getting the different bass and all that, I put the cord in straight in and started jamming, and I was mad because I was like holding up the show, and then I stepped on the cord and it came out and my bass cuts, and I'm like, this is the worst gig of my, like, can you see what I'm saying?
Help me! Somebody help me!
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. So after the show, I'm having my beers or whatever, and I'm talking to the Mothership guy that just tore it up. And I was like, "Man, that was awful." I said, I didn't have the string in the case, and then the bass was different. It was out of tune, and then I stepped on the cord, and he goes, "It wasn't that bad, man." I think he was being nice.
Yeah.
I felt like it was just the worst thing ever. But
what was your, doing a lot of shows and stuff, especially with the experience of touring and stuff, what was your favorite band to open or perform with?
Oh.
Or to open up for?
Definitely... One of my all-times was Crowbar.
Hell yeah.
And I think we might have threw a couple bucks, which I don't mind, the owner's way, because they command a certain fee, which I won't let out.
Yeah.
And so we kind of helped pay Crowbar, more or less. But I was like, I'll help pay Crowbar to open up for him. Hell yeah. And it was Goat Whore, too, not to mention. You know, those guys were kind of... well, we didn't have to follow them, thank God. Let's just put it that way. I mean, they're on a whole different level from our kind of thing, but they're awesome. Don't get me wrong. I like all kinds of music, we'll find out. But, at least we played before them. But that one, of course, the Cro-Mags, that whole, I guess there's sides that or whatever, but I just love it all because I love the Cro-Mags. I don't pick sides with that usually. It's just, you're kind of doomed to pick sides with that kind of thing. Definitely Prong. That was an SKK again. That's one of my all-time favorite bands there for different, definitely. That was just, to me, and Tommy always found, from New York, by the way, always found the best bass players. And I think so did Mike Muir from Suicidal. They always found the funkiest, best bass players. Well, look where Suicidal's bass player is at now, Metallica.
Right.
But they, like, Ozzy can pick guitar players, they can pick bass players. And Tommy from Prong, for sure. What was I talking about?
Favorite bands to perform with or open for.
Okay. Sorry, I just had one of those blank moments. So Prong, yes. And I got a funny story about this band. So Clarence was fielding some business with the band one day, and he comes up to me and goes, "Hey, man, they want us to open up for a band called The Skull at the Demo," which isn't with us, by the way, from St. Louis.
Yeah.
He goes, "Who the hell's that?" I said, "Oh, my God." I said, "The Skull, THE with The Skull." "Yeah, that's it, man." I said, "Get that immediately. Don't even, I'll tell you in a minute." Yeah. So he fired back based on my reaction, "Yes, we will take it." And it, lo and behold, was called The Skull, which is, I explain this. First, it was Trouble. And they're from Chicago, kind of a Sabbathy, doom metal type thing.
Yeah.
And they had the original Skull, Trouble, and then they went their separate ways and made two bands like I was just talking about. So you had, I think, the two guitar players and got different other guys, kept Trouble. And then the lead singer, Eric, who unfortunately passed away pretty recently. If I say pretty recently, it's probably, I can't keep track of everyone. It's just so many, we're losing so many great people.
Yeah.
But somewhere in the last few years, Eric passed away, unfortunately, the lead singer that was there that night. And the other night I went on my birthday. And then the drummer, the original drummer, and original bass player, Ron, and we opened up for them, and they played some trouble music, and they played. There was this kid band there. I won't even name because I can't remember the name, but they were kind of that new thing, down tuned and all that. And then those guys are watching. I'm like, huh? And then we come out there, did kind of our SKK thing, the Southern Fried, stoner doom, that kind of thing. That's why we played with Crowbar, all that. So we opened up for them guys, and I was just like, that was an honor. Because I told Clarence after he took the gig, I said, that's basically Crowbar and Down and Phil Anselmo and all them people's heroes is Trouble, one of them. And I was like, get that show now.
Yeah. And
let's see. Oh, for death metal, when I was in Lunatic, we got to open up for Jungle Rot from Wisconsin. That was awesome. And I think we opened up for like Malevolent Creation. There's some legendary people in the metal scene we opened up for with them guys, to the underground, like at the clubs level. But we opened up for a lot of Master. That's a classic band. I think he was from Chicago too, but I think he moved to Czechoslovakia or something.
Yeah.
So he could swing. The SNL, Steve Martin. Of course, I bought a Saturday Night Live shirt in New York too. I was in the gift shop before they knew where I went.
Yeah, we got a scene of that in the vlog. Yeah. I think we were running through NBC. Yeah,
studios. when the many times Jeff wandered off and made Rick nervous. Like, well, I wandered into this room and there was a guitar in a case, the one with the knot and the New York symbol from Scott Ian from Anthrax.
Yeah,
and I was like, I just start wandering in there. It was all the New York stuff. It was like the New York Dolls, like the bass player's shirt was in there, and all the New York stuff.
Yeah.
Debbie Harry and Blondie, and a guitar that I actually put my hands on, probably wasn't supposed to, from Dee Dee from the Ramones, and then another guitar from all these different. It was all New York, and I just wandered in. I'm like, this is like my little paradise room. And then Rick and them are like, stop disappearing. Ask my sister, especially when I was drinking heavier, about me and drinking and disappearing from my party of the people that I go with. I mean, it is New York after all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's gonna happen. It's pretty busy.
Well, Joey got run up on. Let's just leave it at that.
That was
there's a story, boy.
The Hard Rock Casino was kick-ass.
Oh, yeah.
Looking at all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. I was taking pictures like a tourist, which I guess I kind of was.
We ever make it big, you guys get my first mask.
Yeah, I got a lot of cool pictures. I got kind of an eye. I don't always make people pose. I think I get that from kind of Nicole, my girlfriend, because she's real good with photography.
Yeah.
I forgot to pose with Phil Anselmo because the other guys had some stuff at the other end, let's just say. And by the time I got up to meet Phil, I didn't know who I was anymore. And I got a beautiful side-by-side picture of Nicole and Phil Anselmo that's like frameable, and it is framed at my house. And then I forgot to get my picture with him.
That's what I was thinking about that the other day when I was gathering questions. I was like, the booklet of celebrity photos has to be
Well, yeah,
galore.
I've got a lot of that. I mean, I am a nerd after all with that kind of shit. And a lot of people are like, oh, no,
we got to drop a few in here.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that and all this. And it's like, I don't care how old I get. If the person's female, male, younger, older, none of that matters. If I love your band, I want a photo with you.
Yeah.
As long as I'm not being a nuisance or you can read the scene. Like when I got my picture with all the members of Power Flow, all the different celebrities that's like supergroup. The dude from Cypress Hills, the singer. He was actually checking on me after the show. But I was just kind of hanging back waiting for Christian because he's from Fear Factory.
Yeah.
And he had, I think he was maybe hurt and he had a knee brace on. And I think he was talking to his wife or something or whatever. It seemed important. He stepped away and he was over on a different corner. So I was waiting for him. But after a while, I was like, I feel funny. This is he's got maybe something at home going on.
Yeah.
So I took off, went home. As simple as that. I just read the situation. But Sean, I think it's Sean that's in that Power Flow.
I think so.
He was checking on me. He's like, hey, man, you okay? You need a ride? I said, no, I got a car. I was just kind of waiting on Christian. But I said, looks like he's busy. He goes, yeah, probably. And then I just took off.
Like, I'm out of here.
Right.
What was the favorite venue? I think the favorite venue
to play
that we did as Flyte Risk that I would pick. Red Rag.
Red Rag, the old Red Rag.
Motherfuckers.
Bazing.
Red Flag is always cool to play. I love their sound system.
Yeah, that's very, very good.
Utopia Studios was dope.
Well, yeah, that was like a little underground lair.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was the coolest place I've ever been, I think. I think they rehearsed there a lot of
That was like the A Room if the A Room had a lounge for a concert or a concert area.
A beanbag. Or a hammock. Or
it's like a bunch of these. My friend Frost Money shot a video there. It's a really, really cool place. And we lost Hangar 9 and Carbondale, unfortunately. That was a really bad.
Carbondale's definitely changed. Talking about changing over the years, you know.
Well, that's the thing. Like back in the day, I remember concerts happening all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
We were always at a show somewhere, and now it seems like venues are turning a blind eye and just want slots and regulars in all the time.
Right. Well, we were talking about that. Everything's about the money and the bottom line. So even as a cover band, it's hard to get work because you have to have the epitome of the acceptable covers to get big, and they just want the band in there that's already making them money because the economy. I get it, but it's sad for like up and comers because then sometimes you can't get a gig because you don't have the super big crowd or whatever.
Yeah,
which is harder to get when you're an original band. You know that, especially
for selling tickets and doing something like that.
I got something in the back of my mind just kind of chipping away, saying that you never know when your time could be.
Yeah.
Speaking of Tommy from Prong, that was the awesome honor. I thank him for that. I was looking, and it was kind of a far away. You kind of had to almost zoom in because for some reason they do different pictures for different times. And it was far away. Of the group, of the tour I saw in St. Louis was Prong and Voivod, who was a favorite of mine from Canada.
Yeah.
And then a local band opened up for them. I think DEF CON did.
I've heard of them.
They're from St. Louis, I think. Somewhere in the vicinity they opened up. But Tommy wore the original Flyte Risk skull shirt in the photo because when I handed it to him, because I was taking pictures with him like a nerd, he's like, "Oh, thanks, man. This is super cool." Like he commented that he thought it was a cool shirt, which that was a huge compliment to me. I almost asked him, this is for Rick. I don't even know if Rick knows this. This might be information to him. Because he was wearing, at different times in the night, a Jets sock hat with the ball on top, like a football hat. And Rick's super into the Jets being from New York, and I was wanting to make him put it on so Rick would see it. But I was like, that's kind of pushing weirdness if you're making a guy put his hat on.
Yeah.
I admit that. So I didn't say it or anything. But, but yeah, he wore our shirt, and anybody that looked at that photo, I don't know if they'd even noticed, but to me, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Or like when... our old manager, Justin, as we would say, got us in that underground metal magazine where it was a tiny little ad for the first record. My friend Kirk gave me that magazine to keep, so I do own that. Thanks to Kirk. Shout out to him.
Oh, you got like a actual magazine?
Oh, yeah. I thought I brought it to show you guys.
Hell yeah.
You might not remember. A lot of stuff goes on.
I was probably still drinking, too, at the time.
But I do own it if you want to look at it, but...
What's your favorite venue to play at, though? Because Pops is always kick-ass.
I'm trying to think here for a minute what's left up there. Well, there's some I haven't even either been to or played at, honestly. I was supposed to go out to the Sinkhole to see From New York again, honestly. I think so. Yeah, Extinction AD, a newer thrash band.
Hell yeah.
For some reason it canceled and I didn't go. But I don't know. I have this Pops I'm looking forward to because I have played on the main stage at Pops, like I said, with Danny Green.
Yeah.
With the Misfits.
Yeah.
And what was cool about that night, the guy playing the guitar, saying playing, but you know what I mean. They wear makeup and costumes and stuff. Was Dez, the tall dude that used to be in Black Flag?
Yeah.
That was like a double honor because you got one guy from Black Flag playing in the Misfits, and then the original Misfits. Bass player and taking over the vocals, and I think that night, if I'm not mistaken, it was Mackie was the drummer, the Cro-Mags dude. So you got all these legends running around in your backstage area at Pops.
Yeah, that's
and it's
rad.
like these are like living legends. And here's where I read the moment again. I was back there before Misfits went on. And they were kind of in their pre-ritual. I heard Jerry warming up, singing and everything.
Yeah.
And Dez was over there. He's a tall dude. And he had the trench coat for the stage, and the makeup was already on. And I was wanting to get a picture of him, but I was like, he's in his zone before the show. I can't break that that's a confidence we all know about.
Right, yeah.
You're trying to mentally get yourself ready. You don't want some fan thing going on when
like, what's up, dude?
Right when you're getting in the mindset to go kill it.
Yeah.
So I was like, just leave him alone. And I did say, what's up? As I went back into the club. That was it. I said, what's up, Dez? And woo, went on.
I still get starstruck with certain people. Like, I remember us walking through Times Square, and I listen to a lot of Sirius XM shit. One of the producers, his name is Troy Kwan. I see him walking through because I identify him just by what he looks like. Walking through, and I'm like, I know it's him. I want to go up there and say something, but if it's not him, then I'm going to have to deal with, then my apologies and the whole walk away thing.
Yeah, and you got to read people too. Some of them will look at you. The best example I can use is Mark from Chimera. He will give you a look like, please do not approach me right now, and you will not approach him.
Yeah.
No offense, because everybody's got their thing.
It dawned on me on the ride out. I think we got to Pennsylvania, and then it dawned on me, fuck, there really was him.
You got to learn.
So I get one of these because I was too pussy to say anything to him. But it happens.
What was that old saying? Learn how to read a room. You got to know what's going on.
I wanted to get a photo
two that
with
I
him.
definitely want to drop in, because we're talking about Black Flag and Dez. I do not have my picture with him by chance, but from the time the version of Black Flag played wasn't what's going as Black Flag, that's Greg Ginn and all of them, but they're doing Flag with the bars that are set normal because you can't copyright, you can't have
they changed it
offset, but they're called Flag, but per capita you get more Black Flag in Flag than you do in Black Flag, if anybody could follow that.
Yeah,
because you got the guy from the Circle Jerks, Keith is the singer.
Yeah,
and then you got I think Dez is in that, but then Chuck Dworsky, the original bass player, and Bill Stevenson, who was also was Black Flag, but he was also Descendants drummer. Yeah, and that guy's an awesome drummer. That's one of my drum heroes, and he was sitting right there. I'm like, that's fucking Bill Stevenson right there.
That's really interesting you say that you get more in here than the actual thing, because I think Mushroom Head's going through a thing like that right now, because you have a band called A Killer's Confession, which is really kick-ass. You guys should look it up. Ex-singer Waylon Revis, I always fuck his name up.
Well, that happens.
Is doing a thing where most of the ex-members are reuniting and they're doing old Mushroom Head songs, and that's almost more interesting to go see than what's actually out, because it's not the same thing to people who love old shit like us.
Oh, and then the other one that I got my picture with out of that group was Chuck, the original bass player. So I was stoked for that.
Yeah,
he was super nice too.
We got to make a collage of and put it in here or something.
Yeah.
The whole the famous wall was dedicated.
And I do have my picture with Greg Ginn, but it was very dimly lit and it was old. And I seen him out and about in the club at Red Flag recently, and I didn't want to bother him because he was going to the bar to get like a energy drink or a soda or something. Yeah. And I was like, well, he's trying to buy a soda. I don't want to bother him.
I guess now would be a good time to say Flyte Risk is open to play at
anywhere that wants us to play that would do some good.
We'll come out and we'll try to give you guys a good night, hopefully.
Right.
Now, thinking back to the previous bands, because the writing process in Flyte Risk is pretty straightforward. All of us have our things that we all bring to the table, and it's very well presented, in my opinion. Or well, at least I think that. Everyone says it's a little too much me on it with the electronic stuff. But this album, we were doing something different.
Well, those are just like little bits, transition parts to me. But you do write the meat of songs, like the one from the first record that I think we're thinking to play if we got times, Forsaken Shelter.
Forsaken Shelter.
But
like thinking back to bands like Some Kind of Chaos, what was the writing process like in that group?
That was mostly Brandon's riffs.
And how many albums did you guys put out? There was
Actually, here's how it went. We have one record, the first one. It's called Volume 1. But funny, there's never been a Volume 2 and probably never will. It'd be great if it could be, but we just all went different ways.
Right.
But we also made one single with Kyle from Syraxis, who we're playing with soon at his studio up there. I had to cut. It was kind of our basic, easy one, but it was fun. And I'll tell you the title, you get it. It was called Dark Beer, White Dog.
I was listening to that last night.
And that's kind of heavy and basic, but it's like, that's our fun song.
Yeah.
And we had some serious ones with some riffing and shit too, but that one was our fun one, and I just wanted to get it on tape, so I kind of got us back together one last time to go make a song.
Yeah.
So we have an album and a single. But the writing process there was pretty much Brandon coming up with all the riffs and stuff mostly. Clarence was the awesome singer, but he didn't really give a shit about writing lyrics. That just wasn't his thing. He just was give me something, and that was our formula in that band, honestly, was Clarence saying, give me something to sing, you know how I sing.
Yeah.
And I would write the words. So that's why I have a lot of good ideas and, help out with you guys, because I've always considered myself, maybe not so much, I'm good to come up with a breakdown, like a heavy part, and I had a cool bass line, hopefully I can remember.
I'm really happy you actually sang on this latest album.
Oh, yeah, well, I wanted to on the first one, but everything happened so fast that I didn't even worry about it. But I'm doing backup vocals for stuff on the first record live that I didn't do on the record that you'll get. Like, I'm selling a package here. Hey, there's more backup vocals live if you come see us. But there is.
Yeah.
Because I worked on them and it's like, I wish I would have done that. So we did it on the second record. And I did some, I guess you'd almost say, directing, like, hey, like at the end of the Modern Enslavement track, I do a little line where I'm singing kind of usually I do the heavy Gene, but I was doing some mid-range thing because it fit that, and Joey's ranting over the top of that. And I came up with that whole idea to even do that, and it turned out really cool.
Yeah, it's a beautiful ping pong back and forth between the two.
And the lyrics are so far gone, and that's like the conclusion, and I'm trying to sing it with emotion. I'm kind of almost getting, again, not to be cliche, but I'm almost getting like hair standing up on my arms, because what I was thinking there is like, that's the final thought of that. The sad final part of that song is we're all so far gone into that.
Yeah.
I'm driving a several ton chunk of metal with giant spikes on the front of it.
Yes.
Literally, because I got the longest forks in there. And we waka. And then Fozzie Bear. People have what I like to call face in phone. You have face in phone, and I got this chunk of steel, and they're everywhere, pinging out everywhere. I got to be very careful not to run somebody over because their face is in their phone. Somebody literally at my other place had their foot run over by a tow motor. It was an older gentleman, again, I won't say who, but he ran over this woman's foot, and he's going to have to live with that. That would haunt you.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, a tow motor pretty much makes your foot a pancake.
Yeah, I'm sure he's got to think
That's
about
part
that.
of the mentality of this into modern. You're so enslaved to that phone, you are willing to walk out into things that could have been used in the Mad Max movie to cause carnage, and you don't even care because your local meme is more important right now. I'm getting on I'm getting on my preacher thing. We'll have to segue to something else.
We will return to our regularly scheduled program momentarily. Please stay tuned.
Damn teenagers.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Hey, you kids, get off my lawn.
It's funny, the question I looked at now is, what is the most annoying thing about social media as a musician?
Oh, God. Well, okay, that's easy. That's an easy one.
Yeah.
We've lost the art of anything physical. I mean, it's like, we had a guy, again, names to change to protect the innocent, that was kind of doing some managing. I've had several different managers over my time. Not my favorite people in the world. They're okay, but
Yeah.
I kind of like to do what is that new term, DIY? Do it yourself?
Yeah. It's because the good ones, it takes a while to find a real good one.
But you got to know what intentions are there, because sometimes it gets into some wild shit, with these managers, because managers are, I don't want to be stereotypical, but there's a thing. You know what I'm kind of getting at with it.
Yeah, you get a manager that's good, and then he ends up robbing the hood.
Oh, it's something. So anyway, even with his cool little sound effects that I enjoy very much, let's see if I can get back on point here. You asked me most annoying thing, and I was talking about the managers that don't have your best interest at heart.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They don't really understand the product.
Well, yeah, I'd rather do stuff myself, so there's no misconceptions. You know what I mean? You kind of look at it, the art or the whatever. You don't have somebody else in there, trying to run the show.
Yeah, that was best. That's one of the reasons why we formed Leaders, because it was a purposely labelless showcase to where we help out local upcoming artists get their start and then see what they do. You know? Most managers hold you into like, I built you, and all that other stupid shit. But yeah, the good ones. There's a few good ones out there. Most of them are really booked up.
But it's back. Better say it before you forget. You asked me about the social media thing.
Yeah.
So like that said manager and others, are very good. And I'm not saying anything bad. They're very talented. And some of them are making a living at it, a good living at it now, and I commend them for that.
Right.
I see both sides of everything, but it's just like their business plan or their mold is what they've learned from their college, which I get, to make the money with the digital, what we see on the internet.
Yeah.
I get that, but I'm going to throw it up there again, the old man shit. I'm old school. In everything. You ask Clarence, I annoy him because I take Giant and I have to move it when I take Skylar home. I shouldn't probably say this. I'm setting myself up for thievery. No. Well, hopefully everybody that's watching this wouldn't do that. But I got this huge book of CDs I carry around that's kind of heavy, and you don't want to hit somebody with it. Let's put it that way, because I'm old school. But they've been trained to do the visual on the nice ads on and that's a talent. I get it. Yeah, because I don't really know how to do it, but I'm from old school, so I miss, and it's annoying to me that I miss going out with a flyer.
Yeah,
and halftime that's illegal now. You can't even put a flyer on a telephone pole anymore. But that kind of promotion, going out and talking to people, passing out shit in the line at the show. Yeah, it's like everybody. I swear that's what the problem is. The social media made everyone lazy and entitled, and with all the other shit.
Took out the work ethic and everyone.
Yeah, you can't get anybody to work now. It's insane.
Yeah,
it's modern enslavement because if everybody starts thinking that way, it'll be that much easier to control by, let's say, other powers.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And it's the game now is chasing algorithm,
right, and all that stuff. And I cannot buy into that. Not only am I not good at it, which I know that's probably part of it, but even if I was, maybe it's making me look at it with an objective eye. Since I don't know how to do it, then maybe I'm looking at it with an objective eye because I'm not in it. Yeah. I'm just like looking at it as, it's kind of sad that you're not out taping something to a window. Or I did that down in Carbondale for our shows. I went to the head shop and I went to like a laundromat and all these places in Carbondale. And on the way, I went all the way along Route 4 so I could stop off at Route 51 Brewery in, where is that at? Elkville, Illinois. I'll do another shameless plug because I love that place.
Yeah, we have a town called Elkville.
Yeah, over in Elkville, you can get some 4-packs that are delicious craft beer that they make themselves right there. I actually tried to get a show going there. The only name I dropped that made any business to that guy was because it was more acoustic, laid back, in there for the brewery. Brewery's not really a metal place, but he knew Annihilate the Hero guys. There's another plug. Tony and the boys there, he knew them, and I was like,
really
that'd be super cool if we could get them back together to do a show at the brewery. I still need to. There's something. Public, hold me to this. Let's get Annihilate the Hero to play over there. If they could all get together and get some, because I would love to see it.
Yeah,
I don't even care about us playing as much. I do.
Yeah,
but I mean, to get those guys back together and let them play a song or something, hell yeah.
Yeah.
This is a call out to Tony and the boys to get that back together one time at the Route 51 Brewery with Flyte Risk, and let's do this.
Yeah,
I'm throwing down it's like I'm watching 2 minutes Raw or something.
Yeah,
throwing down a challenge.
We're throwing out the bait on the fishing line.
Wait, hey, while I'm thinking about it, right? That's pretty much in a nutshell with the whole internet crap. It's just everything's so soft now. I'm a hardened old guy that just likes to, have ink and paper is one of my jokes. If I was going to be a comedian like Scooby there, one of my jokes that I would write down, I think in a notebook, is called ink and paper. Everyone is afraid of ink and paper now. What's the deal with that? I can't get a receipt unless I request it. And I'm a nuisance if I want one. Yeah. It's like, well, I keep close track. People getting your shit. That's one thing we know about the internet. People take your money if you're not careful. Getting stuff for some underground Babylonian website or something.
Yeah,
Not to say that I have, but I'm just saying.
Nigerian scam or
something. I like a lot of underground shit, and it's nothing, any shade against the actual underground band, because they'll take anybody's name or logo now with all this technology and sell it as, there's all kinds of stuff. They got the wrong picture with Kiss. It's like Aerosmith or whatever it is. They don't even know what they're putting out. It's like, that shit don't even match.
I've seen that, yeah.
It's not a bootleg, I swear. But that's Aerosmith. That's not Kiss.
Yeah.
What's going on in this world?
People made a giant gripe about that.
You tell me what's going on. I know what's going on.
There's still real people out there that bleed the hard work ethic when it comes to this music shit.
I'd love to see it. I cannot get through this podcast without a shout out to our boys in Broken Circle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shout out.
I'm your skinwalking man. I told you I was going to sing a little bit.
I actually have one of their CDs over here.
Yeah.
I got it queued up in the computer, though.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we did a lot of great shows with them guys. Those
really
guys
are one of the best to play with these days around.
Shout out to Neil and Dave and all them.
Yes. They did my birthday show with us at Kit Kat's.
Yeah, that was a good show.
There's some people there.
Yeah.
The one before that, we had an actual pit where there was actual injury. Not that we're promoting injury. It just happened.
I
like response, though. That did a lot for the old man, to get some of that kind of response. Because everybody knows it's an original band trying to, do something with it to get people what you're saying in your art is a bitch, because a lot of people get busy. So do I. But imagine trying to hold down a full-time business is what it is, and a band.
Yeah.
And if you're serious about it, you're trying to do things like go to New York and make a video, or maybe, I don't know if I can let it out now, but we're working on something new. Let's just say.
Oh yeah, let's announce it.
Go ahead.
We did a bunch of vlogs, and some of them were kind of cringe. They've been privatized to this day, but a lot of that the footage that's savable, I guess, we'll save, remaster, give it a good. Gloss over, as they say, make it look a little bit better. And then we're documenting this new endeavor that we're competing for, the Road to Point Fest.
Oh, so the bass player is learning stuff live on air. I think I get what he's doing here. He's going to try to revitalize the old stuff he just ran me through at practice last week, and then put it on a DVD release thing.
I was thinking we put out a DVD... like it's 2006.
And then plus the Pops experience as well?
Yeah.
So it's like a kind of two-part slash?
It makes it kind of like a movie.
Yeah.
It's like, I would have named it The Quest. I don't know. I thought it was... Anything just sounded like...
Johnny Quest.
Like yeah. So Flyte Risk, the movie, will be... Production's going to start. We're going to start just behind-the-scenes filming stuff. The daily life of our rehearsals, behind-the-scenes of shows.
Right.
A couple funny things in there.
He always had that in those. I don't know if that's still in there or available, but he always had the ride up to the show, like the window, that type of thing. Just the experience of, like I always said, it's like moving people don't understand. You almost have to be almost half nuts, especially at my age and Rick's age, for sure, to load around a small city and construct that small city just to entertain people and take it down. I'm not doing it to be ego-ish. I'm doing it as a service to people because that's what I like. Like go unwind at a bar and check out a band that you like.
Yeah, it's providing entertainment.
It's not just like your dad said. It's not just a party. It's literally a job, and it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Lugging all that around, backdrops and amplifiers and drums and props and whatever, computers and cameras and whatever else you're doing to document and all
to most
that.
of the bands watching out there, you guys have like crews. We don't have a crew. It's us. It's literally just us doing everything.
And we do
a lot of bands out there that still grind like that too, like a lot of our boys.
And we're doing our own merch, and I'm trying to flip that around and keep the inventory going and the money coming in, and then you get more stuff.
Yeah.
We got a couple new designs coming out. Skylar's wearing the one he showed you earlier with the new skulls with the new logo that Kyle came up with the logo, and Skylar came up with the skulls once again. And also, I don't want to mispronounce her last name, but Taylor from Full Terror Assault. I met this artist, and I looked at her art because it was linked how you do promoting, and I went to her art and I was like, this is really cool. To me, it kind of reminds me of like she could do work for Gwar to me. Yeah, 'cause it kind of has that feel to it. Me and Skylar are both big Gwar fans. Brocky,
hell yeah,
rest in peace. But it has kind of like that look, and I had her come up with this old school computer with eyeballs dripping out, and we changed a few things, like artists ask what you want me to take in and put out.
Yeah.
And then we put Kyle's logo over her art, and then I came up with, for Kyle, to put the End of Modern Enslavement in the old, it almost looks like the old Scorpions font. It's like the old 80s computer with the little notch thing at the bottom. And I told him to marry the purple, like she had the purple going with the computer, and it turned out pretty good.
Yeah.
So we got those 2 new ones available. I think there's one more lichen shirt in medium, and then we got the old skull shirts, but not a huge quantity unless you're a small person.
Yeah.
So, once we cycle stuff out, another promo business thing, it'll probably be gone because we move on to new art, new logos. This band, I'm doing more T-shirts by myself.
Yeah.
Now, we had a large inventory in Abaddon, but it was make to order, so that didn't really exist as a shirt until someone ordered it.
Yeah.
Generated it, goes out the door. We're making this stuff ourselves, and it's actual quantity, and I do limit it on some, and when I can. So if get a shirt, it might be a collector one, because this last order I just got 4 of this, 4 of that.
Yeah.
Just to get the medium and larges back on track. It's really, if you think about it, no dummy can run a band.
No.
That's successful, because you got to keep track of it. That's why those people write that shit down on their paperwork at the concerts. You got to keep track of your inventory, because most of them know they're glorified T-shirt salesmen.
Yeah.
And there's no better. Here's a shout out to an old band I love, DRI, Dirty Rotten Imbeciles.
Hell yeah.
Kurt, the lead singer, is pretty much the merch guy. And that guy is a T-shirt making machine, man. He's got all the different albums, all the different colors, styles, because they know, and older dudes know, that's how we make money.
Yeah.
You got to keep that T-shirt game flying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And to be honest, as artists and stuff, no one's really making much of record sales in this generational day of age.
So basically, you got T-shirts, and if you come up with some clever shit.
That's what I always, the advice I give to younger artists that always contact me and stuff and ask what they should do. I was like, figure out what else you can market with it.
You know me, why do we not have a can cooler with Flyte Risk on one side and a beer flight from a craft beer place on the other side? Or no, under the logo, actually. I'm just
one of these days I'll go full Kiss and whore us out, and we'll have belt buckles.
Oh yeah, belt buckles,
action figures, and caskets.
Hey man, whatever sells, Sometimes I look at a band and they got something super cool. I'm like, man, I never thought of that, but that's cool,
We did the order to like how you order. You'll design something on a website and then order it, and it'll come to you. But you have to order it in its full price as the item. You can't get a discount if you order in bulk. In the Zenith days, we ordered a couple of hoodies and T-shirts and got fucked. Like half of them were misprinted.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
The little print thing, after like 3 washes, it would start to flake off.
Well, I tell you what, another shameless plug again. Back to Kyle there.
Yeah, I was gonna say shout out to Kyle, because that shit
he makes our shirts. The original skull ones from the first record were made down in Carbondale at Silkworm.
Yeah.
And no offense to them, but for a younger band with maybe not as much money, Kyle can just make you however many you want of one or whatever, and have colors, and it doesn't affect the price. So if you need some shirts, and Kyle's willing to do it, which I'm sure he is,
hell yeah,
look him up, because I think Bissell, isn't that the right way to say his last name?
I think so. But yeah,
Kyle
it's
Bissell,
really good.
if you need some finissel in your T-shirts.
Won't fade or crack with age.
Won't fade or crack with age.
Yeah, I've been washing mine, and they seem to be holding up. That's a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely have a lot coming for you people. There's even talk of putting together some new music as well.
Oh, yeah. If the bass player can remember the guitar, Rick was just over there tuning up and riffing around, and I came up with the bass line out of it.
Yeah.
I need to go home and see how I can remember that, because it was really cool, and it might be the start of the new song.
Hell yeah. Well, knowing him after this interview, he'll be like, you want to go upstairs while we're all here?
But I tell you, I was thinking about that if he wanted to, but man, I lost my train of thought, because I'm thinking about jam. Oh, that's what it was. It was about jamming. Yeah. It was about the first time the 3 of us got in a room together after I started this new job that's wild. I needed that big time, but it kind of is building some personal confidence in me, overcoming some hurdles at the new job that I won't go into because that's boring.
Yeah.
But basically, it inspired me musically because when I got up there, that first song, we were starting with the Modern Enslavement song. I'll let that out, I guess. And
our Cheech and Chong intro.
And a Cheech and Chong intro. And as soon as I heard the Cheech and Chong intro, I just got the feeling of ready. Because I'll jam upstairs like we're at a show. I can't just say, oh, this is rehearsal, sit in a chair.
Right.
Or just stand there. And there's not a lot of room because we practice in a loft upstairs with the beveled ceiling, and it's a small room. And back to like padded cell days when we practiced in a room, it was made for a washer and dryer. And our drummer had a cage kit, too, like yours, but bigger.
It was a literal padded cell.
Oh, literally. And the singer, he stood in the damn doorway, and I can't hear. When people at work ask me to get something, and I'm like, what? Legit. I'm a metalhead, and it's hard to turn my head on the tone motor because I bang my head all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't help it.
That was the funniest thing about when it was time to edit our latest music videos, was getting Jeff in frame.
Oh yeah, because I was performing like up in that. I was on a stage.
It was moving around.
They didn't have any footage for the bass for the one angle because he's like, "Man, you were off your mark." I'm like, "Well, I'm not used to this."
Yeah.
To actually be recording for an actual video. We did the one for Judgment Day in my jam room that we've never actually played in as a band.
And it was cold as fuck.
And it was cold as winter. It's cold as fuck. And we were in there making our homemade. That's a homemade video from the first record. That was our first attempt at shooting our own video. So it's kind of got an underground cool level to it in a way because I just
did pretty well too.
I bought some new lights and we're in that jam environment.
I think
We've
we
never
had just
actually
gotten
jammed live there, which maybe we could do. Maybe when it warms up, this weather's been insane.
Yeah, we should do something in the summer for sure.
Because I've been thinking that you guys ought to work down one time just to hang out and jam. And I feel funny when my jam garage doesn't really, unless I just go over bass lines on there or something.
Right,
Other than that, it's getting no use and it's sad.
That's how I feel about my studio. I'm barely in here. Well, we meet in here every week for rehearsals and stuff, but yeah, once we get to the wind down hour of here, we'll promote some shit, of course.
Yeah.
Our upcoming shows, we're at Pops February 8th for the Road to Point Fest competition, so please come out and support us. It'll just be fun to play the room.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't done a competition in a long time. We've never done a battle in the bands type thing.
Now Clarence is going to be laughing at me because I'm going to the phone.
I say my phone's recording anything. I can't look it up. We'll also be in Olney, Illinois, February 15th with our buddies
I
in
think it's March.
March, yes. Fuck yeah. March.
That's what I was already on it.
Because it was after my
I'm
birthday.
actually using my technology, which is one of the only things I like to use it for. But yes,
it's good you pulled it out. I would have just fucked us.
March 15th. They're in Olney, looking over my glasses.
And we had a special guest that just walked in,
and that's with Syraxis and the Dr. Orpheus Project.
Guitar player Rick in the house.
Oh yeah, and I'm getting some love from the guitar player right here. You saw it live.
But yeah, we got that coming up. Also, I'll plug Metal in the Mountains too, because that's a really cool festival that's going down.
If we're on that yet, or
they announced the band's April Fools. I think they announced the card.
Of course it is.
So everyone, keep tuned in to what happens with that. Because even if we don't get booked, I'll still go.
I'd like to be involved in that because that you mentioned earlier. I should have said that for back in the day. All those Metal in the Mountains that I think Chop organized.
Yeah, I was gonna say you played quite a few of them.
Oh yeah, I played quite a few of those. Chop, who is the lead singer for Lights Over Arcadia. I had to Rolodex the brain up in St. Louis. Why are we not doing a show with them? There's another call out. Why has that not happened yet? Only due to my tiredness and working all
we'll send emails out. If you guys see this, hit us up. Let's do something.
Hey, that's what these podcasts are good for, to draw the old brain for some shout-outs or some call-outs or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
We love Chop, and we'd love to play a show with him.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of fun.
Maybe I'm just going to throw it out there for the hell of it. I don't know. I've never played there yet, but I've heard about it, that Redfish, Bluefish.
I've heard of it.
I think he plays there, so
Our buddy Shipley's playing there here soon.
Let's try that, Chop. Let's throw that together. Let's do something here.
Our boy Mr. Shipley's going to be there with, I forgot who he's playing with. Forgive me, but yeah, he's going to be up there performing.
And I'll even call him out one more time. This is like a triple threat. I'd be like, hey, Chopperini, have you heard the new Flyte Risk record yet? In all honesty, have you listened to that? Have you given that a spin?
We got CDs. It's like 2025 and we're hustling CDs.
Hey, you got to do it.
We're getting Location Crossroad printed here soon, so everybody be on the lookout for that. My album will be available on CD. We were supposed to do it sooner, but we're all fucking broke. He's
got other projects you need to be aware of and keep track of as well. I went with him one night to one of his shows at that place in St. Louis, right next to Pops.
The Oz.
The Oz. It took me a minute. But they got the Oz kind of transformed, and it was a rap show there.
Yeah, it was like they do a lot of showcases at the Red Room. We always had a lot of fun at the Red Room.
Who was that fella that I liked? That fella. I bet a rapper's never been called a fella, ever. Well, maybe. The fellas. I don't know. Who was that rapper that I liked that played with you that I added? I can't remember.
I don't know. There was a bunch of guys there. Well, me and Jaso would always go.
If we research it, we can put his name on there.
Yeah, I'll have to do some thinking back.
Digging back.
But yeah, SP's Codename Cutthroat Podcast. Down to my final question here, which I guess taps
Final Jeopardy.
The pedal finale. Yeah. I need my Jeopardy music. I used to have music.
Yeah.
What is your favorite genres of music?
Okay, well, there's a lot, I guess. I guess you got to start off with the 70s stuff that I mentioned earlier. 70s, rock, Aerosmith, The Kiss, and all them. AC/DC and all that, Sabbath. But then I was, like I said, a thrash metal person, big time. Always like the power metal and stuff, too. Me and your dad are huge fans of Accept, some German metal from back in the 80s.
Yeah.
I like some of that deathcore stuff the kids are listening to. I guess you'd say almost like I love Whitechapel.
Yeah.
To be honest, I when they first came out, I didn't quite get it yet. I was liking it a little, but I wasn't really that far in. And when they kind of branched out and experimented like we're doing, I'm in love with it. Like that album, The Valley or whatever. That when Clarence was hurt, that song was out where he's singing slow and soft.
Yeah,
but that song is amazing. And then they put out that Ken after that. That was pretty cool, too. So I like a lot of that kind of stuff. We discovered, actually, at a death metal fest, that segues into death metal, Obituary, 100%,
hell yeah.
Cannibal Corpse, Jungle Rot, Internal Bleeding. That's all my favorite shit right there.
Right.
Death metal. There's others, but that's my main. The death metal, of course, punk, like I was saying, the Black Flags and the Misfits and Murphy's Law and all that kind of stuff. And then all that hardcore, like... if you can help out Lou from Sick of It All, he just got diagnosed with cancer, and I'm looking for my Biohazard shirt because I supported him.
Yeah.
It hasn't come in yet. Maybe there was mass orders. Who knows? Hopefully, help him out.
Maybe the weather.
All that kind of stuff, like Madball and the New York stuff. You saw me wearing my shirts up there.
Right.
Prong. Just all that. Anything heavy kind of, but it's got the key is it always has to have a groove. For me.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there's got to be groove to it, because if you lose the groove, you're losing the biscuits and gravy.
I've been listening to a lot of
Brokeneck said,
flesh.
too many biscuits, not enough gravy. Been the story of my life here lately. I thought that was genius, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Fuck yeah. I've been checking out a lot of Peeling Flesh. They're really badass.
You showed me that video, and I did like that. I really did.
I like their samples they use.
Yeah.
I'm a big sample head.
Yeah. Recently, because I actually opened up for her other band, or a band she was in. I wrestled a bear once, but that Courtney that's in that Spirit Box everybody's listening to.
Yeah.
The old man finally got around to listening to it.
Hell yeah.
The story is, I think it's because their opening band that's coming with them, Dying Wish. Female fronted, like hardcore band, real hardcore.
Yeah.
They're the opener, and I was like, well, I might want to go see them. I was like, I guess I better check out Spirit Box, because I'm one of these people that, like, even with it, we have everything at our fingertips. I still kind of even do that the old school way. When I'm ready, or when I think there's a band playing with somebody or something like that, and then I finally hear it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, well, I'll give this a chance now. But it's like I don't jump right in and listen to it like right away. Like I don't almost want to hear it before it comes out officially.
Right. Yeah.
Because that's kind of like cheating. We used to have to wait at the record store, and they took some of the magic out of it.
Yeah.
Everything is
I miss record stores so much.
Yeah, it's kind of changing the way this technology is. It's taking the fun out of everything, and it's making it readily available if you're a bitchy person to bitch at all times.
Yeah.
And that's why I think your dad at his age, he agrees with me. That's why I don't think he sees half of the shit that we put on the band thing because he's so off his phone and over that shit.
Yeah.
And I get it. I get that way sometimes too with that, you know.
Yeah, I always like hearing a project after I buy it. I was never one to scan the barcode and preview the tracks.
I want
like
to hear it when
it
comes in the mail on the CD.
Right, yeah.
I think I listened to Ace Frehley's new one. I cheated because I'm a big Ace guy and I wanted to hear it. I almost wish I would have waited, but that's about the only one I can remember lately of pre-listening to before I get it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I feel like that's cheating. They're taking the fun and the magic out of a lot of life.
Yeah.
This is bottom line, that one.
For sure.
I can't help it. I like to look out the window and see an old barn. Go out in the woods like she likes to do with the mushroom hunting, and that's not so much for me because I can't find them.
Right.
But I'll sit there and me and Johnny go.
I have a hard time finding mushrooms sometimes.
We go excavating for old relics, beer cans, whatever. He collects old stuff.
Hell yeah.
People forget about that kind of thing. They don't even go out and get their hands in something. Get your hand like the Jerky Boys. Get your hands dirty.
Get your hands dirty.
What are you gonna see? What you can do for me?
Should I bring my fucking tools?
So they're up there slapping each other with the hot mops. Then I fire her ass down to the fucking yard.
My ass hurts.
Yeah. Little Jerky Boys moment. Speaking of New York, right?
I got a Jerky Boys CD in here. So.
Isn't that New York too?
Yeah,
Of course it is.
Yeah.
What am I asking?
Another group that fucking couldn't stand each other.
Oh yeah. And once again, segueing back into that. That's one thing about the band I'll say, just off the cuff after that comment, is we get along pretty well.
Yeah.
There's not that member that everybody's like, I think we're all on the same wavelength as people, pretty much.
It's like it's brotherhood,
Yeah. That's what it has to be to survive.
Yeah.
In the long run.
Because I've seen so many bands fall apart.
Oh yeah.
For the sake of one person.
Right.
And it'd be really good bands, like bands that would have almost broke out.
And then it comes down to the silly shit you don't even want to talk about. Like I've always edited out names and the silly shit, really, because I just don't want to get into all that.
Right, yeah.
I mean, it doesn't work out for a reason, and I'm kind of a bottom line guy at this age. You'll end up where you're supposed to be in life, I think, if you're paying attention.
You reflect, but also let go at the same time.
Well, yeah. For sure.
Hell yeah. Want to tell the people what we got coming up next while we get out of here?
What do we have coming up next, Skylar?
We got our shows.
Oh, well, the shows, yes, of course.
The Flyte Risk movie that we're about to start filming.
Yeah.
I love it. When I say the Flyte Risk movie, I want people to think it's going to be a motion picture. Like, we're going to be like...
Well, the way Skylar is, it probably will.
There is a movie called Flyte Risk coming out here soon.
They probably will get some awards or something. 'Cause he's good with all that stuff, man. I watch him at work with all that. Like, while I'm taking old school pictures, he's in some of those, probably filming some of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, literally... So some of the photos documented him documenting the trip.
It's
so
always good to
cool.
just document it. Like the vlog was super.
I like that one picture
edit.
I got of you where it's like your reflection in the subway where the city you could see.
Yeah,
I thought we could do something with that for sure.
I was gonna use that. I even
or
started
that shadows on the boardwalk for shadows on the wall.
Yeah,
see, we're always thinking about what we're doing here.
That'd be a kick-ass lyric.
I'm just throwing that out because there's so many ideas that come through that we remember that.
This is like a meeting on a podcast.
Well, yeah, we're like having a band, like we're having a board meeting here, the Flyte Risk board meeting. We got to run it through corporate. Oop, did I say edit that out? I couldn't help it. That was a zinger. Rick had a zinger, and I'm not talking about Hostess. I told you I'd be doing some stand-up on here too.
Fuck yeah.
You put a microphone in front of me. He's got some funny moments of me making jokes at, like, what was that bar we played at? I was on fire, the Freedom Bar.
Yeah.
In Hearst, Illinois.
Yeah.
I think we were too loud for them, and we never really kind of went back there.
I don't think they liked us too much. No.
Some like little country out of the way bars, and no offense to them, I get it. They have a atmosphere. They have a thing. And one of their things is selling drinks and food there. They had really good burgers and stuff. So if we got a loud, like, heavy band in there, metal band that turns up, well, then they can't sell their drinks and their food as well, and it bothers them. I get it. It's a business thing.
Yeah.
But it's like when you play... And here's something I'll segue right back into drummers. I mentioned Brent. Steve-O from Cause of Ruin was my drummer for Some Kind of Chaos in the history of things. Those two guys, of course Skylar, of course Andy from Lunatic. Right. And if I blank on his name, Jeremy. It took me a minute. It's been a long time, and I don't even think he plays with Danny Green anymore, but Jeremy from Danny Green. Yeah. I think it went back one time, like the Zetro and Rob Duke's thing. Yeah. I've seen enough editorial on that for a lifetime. When something like that happens, Exodus, Steve stepping aside again.
Yeah.
And Rob's coming back in again.
Yeah.
So it's a change into the guard. I don't think there's any bad feelings, but everybody's got to put their 2 cents in there. And it's like, oh, God, can't we just let something happen without discussing it at length?
Right.
I mean, gee, Manimi. I don't know.
That's how I felt I did an SP interview that never aired with some low-rate podcast, and they just kept trying to get me to shit on, because we did it at a festival.
Yeah.
And it was like, so you think you're better than all the other acts here?
Oh God, here we
And I'm
go.
like, no, we all bring our own thing to this thing. And they're like, be honest.
Trying to get that East Coast, West Coast thing going on.
And he's like, you don't have to lie here. We're an open platform.
Oh, God.
And I was like, I'll give you an open neck wound if you don't get on my fucking face.
Massive head wound Harry. I watch ask my family, I watch way too much Saturday Night Live. Like, literally, I think my life is kind of based on that.
Yeah.
And, of course, my grandma, I'll give you some real good history, that passed away. Her thing with my parents is, that's where you went wrong with Jeff. You let him watch that Saturday Night Live show. How that happened was I was playing with some Star Wars figures probably as a kid, probably about 10, maybe 11. And my dad was, I think, still drinking at the time beer with his buddies. And they would get together on Saturday night, have some beer, let the kids play and watch that show.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of came up over shoulders watching the Bees, where John Belushi was the bee.
Yeah.
John Belushi and Ace Frehley were friends, by the way. And we all probably know the connection there.
Yeah.
Without saying it. But
a little bit of a runny nose problem.
Yeah,
there.
something to that effect. But I watch way too much of that shit because I love comedy. Outside of my music life, it's comedy.
Yeah.
That's because there's so much stress in life, you got to laugh.
Right, yeah.
You ask Clarence, I come up with something, get him going. Get him crying all the time. He's my best audience.
I remember a lot of people, by the way, a lot of people were asking what the sample and Through the Lines in the beginning was. It's from Pineapple Express.
Fuck you. I've seen enough. Shut it down.
It's
oh yeah,
where they're testing out the weeds.
I think and matter of fact, the guy that say that, is he on SNL, or am I got that wrong? It's the other guy. No, it's the guy testing the actual stuff is the guy from SNL.
Yeah,
the guy that says it's not.
Yeah.
Okay, I clarified it in my own brain. But isn't that Bill Hader from SNL?
Yeah.
Yep, that's what I thought. Boom. I didn't even have to fact check that. It's a Saturday Night Live personality,
Right.
So I know them.
We don't need no Google.
Sometimes I'll watch the shit over and over. If I've seen that Peach Fetty Balls thing once, I've seen it a million times, but it's funny every time.
Yeah, I'm the same way with podcasts.
It's like Will Ferrell in the phone booth after they kick Baxter over the Jack Black kicks Baxter over the thing, his dog. I almost died from that scene because I was watching it first time through New Year's Day after a night out on New Year's Eve. And I laughed so hard, and after all the roughness, I thought I was going to die.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Comedy.
Well, yeah.
You gotta laugh.
This has been the SP's Codename Cutthroat podcast. Like we said before, our latest album, The End of Modern Enslavement, is out now on all digital platforms and CD. We got the first...
Yeah.
I don't think we have many copies of the first album left on CD.
First album, we're going to have to back order that. So if you got one, you got one. And,
yeah, we're sold out.
Come give us some more money, and then you can get the first record again.
Yes, for sure. We're offering $100 first bet.
We got some nice T-shirts. A lot of, I guess together there'd be 4 different designs. I think right now maybe 5.
Hell yeah.
Different sizes and stuff. But we got another on-air thing. We got to get some stickers.
Yeah. Definitely. So we're stepping the merch game up. Come catch us at Pops for the Road to Point Fest, like I mentioned earlier, February 8th. Tickets are on sale now.
There you go.
You can go to popsrocks.com or the Road to Point Fest. I think they have a Facebook page or event made for it.
And I've checked out all the other groups that we're playing with. They're all talented people, and we're definitely getting a variety of styles that night.
Yeah, it'll be a really cool...
There's some death metal. There's some, kind of bluesier... clutchier type rock. There's some like rock and roll.
Yeah.
And then there's sad by their own description. What is it? Sad indie girl rock?
Emo.
I think it's indie girl rock.
Yeah.
Or something like that. I don't know if I'm getting the quote
sad
exactly
emo
right.
is my music.
Something to that effect. And I think that's all everybody.
Yeah.
And then us, what we do.
Yeah. We'll be there doing our thing. And then after that, catch us March 15th at the Olney Eagles with our friends in Syraxis and the Dr. Orpheus Project.
Yes. which I saw down at FTA one time. So I have seen him. It was good stuff.
Yeah, is that one person in the?
I believe that's what it is.
Their
Unless
music
it's
blows my mind.
changed or evolved into something else, I think it's a one guy band.
Because people were telling me like, you got to listen to this. It's only one person making.
And
all
then
this
Syraxis, that I played with before as well, is a 3-piece.
Yeah,
where Kyle plays bass and sings. There's a guitarist and a drummer.
Nice. So hell yeah, definitely. Are tickets available for that, or is it just come by?
I'm not real sure, to be honest. I've been so busy.
Well, we'll announce it. Keep on to our Facebook page, just Flyte Risk Online on Facebook, and I think Flyte Risk 618 on Insta. Well, we lost our Instagram, so never mind.
Scratch that last one.
Yeah.
Another Brady Bunch fail.
And
Greg dipped his balls in the guacamole again.
That's got to be one of my favorite scenes in like any movie.
Did something happen?
Oh no, I think we're still going. I just got a low battery notice.
Oh.
But
hopefully we got the Greg with his balls in the guacamole.
Yeah, hopefully. But yes, if the camera didn't fuck up, this has been the SP's Codename Cutthroat podcast. Follow us on X, and you can also, we were going to work on Instagram, getting a page, but fuck it. Follow us on X, and also follow Leaders Radio on Facebook.
Oh, and come out of your house every once in a while, Barn, and come see the band.
Yeah, come out to a show.
People, I'm just going to throw it out, a challenge to all people. This is a pretty big challenge.
Yeah.
But anyone and everyone,
challenging you.
Get off of your couch in the Netflix nights. We got plenty of them, and go actually see a live band or something like that. I mean, come on. I mean, is it too much to ask? I think the one time we had maybe a less of a turnout, everybody's like, well, it's raining. I'm like, what does that have to do with it whatsoever? It's raining.
Yeah.
I come to practice an hour away on 57, which is a death trap, as we all know. Anyway, with snow coming out of the bridge there, I thought I was going to get mushed between a semi and come to practice because nothing stops me from dedication and moving ahead in the band.
The show must go on.
That's always what it is.
You get your ass out there.
You get your ass out there and you find that fucking door.
I went to work the day after my father passed away because that's what he taught me to do.
Yeah.
And it was no disrespect at all. I know there was nothing I could do about it. And I knew we'd go to the wake and funeral and do all the things you do. But I was like, he always taught me to go to work. And people at work are like, Jeff, I can't believe you're here today. I'm like, well, it's called good training and upbringing. We lack that in this world, too. Let's just say that. I sound like an old moderate conservative Christian from Tennessee or something.
I'm just waiting to read the comments.
Yeah. Hey, we get to a certain age, you just kind of call it like you see it. I mean, you know. And we're all a product of our growing up. And I know that's why people don't get along because so much has changed.
Yeah.
How could we get along with two separate ways of thinking? I try not to get into that too much.
Yeah.
I just say basically be good to you and yours around you and, live life.
Take care of each other, yourselves, all that.
Friends and family.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
the hardcore message right there. If I took one thing out of hardcore, other than hopping and stage diving and all that shit, which I did break an ankle or fracture an ankle in two places diving at DRI one time.
Damn.
But is friends and family. That's their main. If you want to me, and here's a shout out to Madball. You always ask somebody what's their favorite song, and it's hard to really say, but I don't know. Over the years, I gravitate to that song. And here I am. It's my favorite song of all time. I don't know if Pride, I think. And then there's a parentheses part. But it's the one about, I thank God for all my family. Without them, where the hell would I be? That one.
Yeah.
Thinking back when I was a kid, times have changed so much since then. All grown up, I got to do for myself. Refuse to depend on anyone else. If there's never been a better song written with how I feel about life and fly, I'm getting that chilly thing.
That's it.
That was well done, gentlemen, because that says it all.
Yeah, hell yeah.
If you really want to have a good end spot for this thing, there it is.
Fuck yeah. Well, yeah, come out and see us at those available shows. Hopefully this airs on either a Monday or a Tuesday. So all the things will be updated on our Facebooks. Just stay on our Facebook. That's at Flyte Risk Online.
Is that a good or bad thing? Because Jeff's going to have to watch his goofy ass for a considerable amount of time. This is what people have to deal with you.
And just throw it on the living room TV. You'll be fine.
Just wait. Rick is going to die.
But yeah, man. Thanks for coming on, man. This was really fun.
Well, yeah. I actually had him check this out. So I got this new job. I keep going back to that. I can't help it. I had him change it to Sunday from Saturday because I volunteered for 2 Saturdays in a row. I think I'm taking one off next weekend and relaxing a little more.
Hell yeah.
But it's all about that work ethic. That's where you take what your dad or your people teach you to your band, too. Don't let them fool you. It's like the good work ethic comes straight from my insurance-selling father, which Jim Hicks' father, unfortunately, rest in peace, passed away too. And the weirdest thing about that band was where we had 2 dudes in a band together, and both of our dads sold State Farm insurance.
Yeah.
So I went to the funeral for his dad, and it got to me because that's another guy, metalhead, losing his father. I think to cancer as well, if I'm not mistaken.
It's like real relatable.
And I was just said the church is trying to hold it together because that was speaking of a moment to end it on again. That's even more profound in a way. Because, that's high emotion there because you know how he's feeling. He lost his State Farm selling father to cancer. And it's like, that's exactly what happened to me.
Yeah.
So you don't get much more connection in life than that, really. Yeah. Don. I had to remember his name for a minute. Don Hicks. Oh, and I got to do the backwards thing to end on a happy note. Jim taught me the backwards name thing.
Yeah.
So it's where you take the first initial of each name and flip them. So his whole family would be Han Dix, Harsha Mix, Honey Tix, and Him Jix. and I know Andy remembers Him Jix because we called him that for a while.
Yeah.
So let's end on a laugh there after that little sad part.
Yeah. Well, man, I want to thank Jeff for coming on to the show and thank all you guys for subscribing and viewing. Email leadersradio618 to be a guest on the show or to promote what you do. Follow SP Online on all social media. I just dropped a song yesterday called I Have Border Personality Disorder, Want to Be Friends, I think is the name of it.
Was that the one you were showing me with the black and white?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go watch that because I sleep sometimes on his other stuff because I'm so busy, but I caught a little piece of it with my ear that makes me want to go home and watch it now.
Hell yeah. It's real brutal. A lot of thrash vocals going on in it. And then I got another song coming out next week that samples none other than Du Hast by Rammstein. So be on the lookout for that one.
I have a quick question for you. Might help your podcast. I don't know. But I'm just curious. You said, obviously band guys and girls, but what about like artists or anything else, different kind of art?
Yeah.
Would you do that?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm just throwing that out there in case somebody's wondering. My brain's thinking business, so.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely. Yeah, just
why not?
Here's the email down below on the screen for you guys. Just send me an email. Let's do it.
Well, since I'm the kickoff, I got to help him get it kicking.
Right. Hell yeah. Well, yes. Thank you to Jeff. Thank you to you all. This has been the SP's Codename Cutthroat Podcast. We'll see you guys next time.
And never sleep on Jerry Only's chicken.
Feels like stone. No one wants me in an empty home. Back on the floor, shedding skin, transformation.